Hello, what is up everybody? Welcome to another day of StarCraft 2. We're going to be doing the playoffs today for the Alpha X special series. We got ourselves some pretty darn good games in store, I would hope. I got myself a hat today. It's on a little bit. Hats are always small for me. Anyway. I don't know. Do I have a head face? It's hard to say sometimes. It is hard to say. Is it blocking the overall lighting? Perhaps it is. We can start with one streamer in game. He could just ask me. I think so. I think so. Blind Estrella already looking whether or not they can get things started here. Alright. Let me see. Alright, so yeah, there's two streams going on again. Heads up for that one. I got the top side of the bracket, it looks like. Matisse will do the bottom side of the bracket. And we're just gonna let that flow. You know what? It's gonna provide the easiest amounts of games overall. Is that a hair right here? Is that... I don't even know. I want to take it off right now. Anyway. Bly versus Estrella. We saw Bly, of course, previously on the good old matchup ZVP against Gerald the previous time in this tournament. Got rather close indeed. Let me try for a second to see what my hair actually looks like without at the moment. Oh, it's fine. I was worried for no reason. So if I take it off now, I'm gonna look like a guy that doesn't have hair styled. But I guess I never style my hair all that much anyway, so how you guys doing? You guys had a good day? Is there a Meteorino for this? Yes, there is, actually. There's a Meteorino in the bottom of the description. You should be able to hit it up there. I believe I updated that correctly. I may have actually come to think about it. I really hope I did. I know I changed the code, but did I change the website link? Yes, I did. Nice. Awesome stuff. All right, so yeah, the link's in the description. We don't have a chatbot for Trovo available, so we need to do it through the other ways that exist for us. All right, Estrella requesting a second here. Need some moments, so I get more time to worry about, you know, my physical appearance. I went to buy clothes today. Usually, you know what? It's a good time. It's an alright time. It's a weird time now, though, right, to buy clothes. It's one of those moments where you're like, well, maybe I should just do this over the internet. I don't know. I don't find it nice to buy clothes over the internet, if that makes sense. It's just one of those things I have. I know you can send like a lot of stuff backwards as well, right? If you don't like it, you can just mail it back and then no harm, no foul. If you don't like it, don't have to keep it, don't have to pay for it. But yeah, I always find it a little bit of difficult thing to do in that sense, because you know what, I'll probably just order too much stuff and then I have to send it backwards. I think it's easier overall for me, at least, to just go to a store overall and then deal with it that way. But yeah, anyway, Estrella is still needing a second here, so we're still waiting on him for a moment, and then we'll get started with the first best of three. So the way this bracket works, we have two best of threes going on right now. Estrella versus Bly, Denver versus Vindicta. Wait. But he said he's doing the bottom mid. Also, he said he's doing Denver versus Vindicta, which are on the top side of the bracket. So a little bit of a miscommunication there, I believe. Alright, well, he's lucky. He's lucky. He gets to see and Vindicta, and he gets to see MaxPax afterwards, and Denver, of course, going up against Vindicta. Denver versus Vindicta, always a fun one, I'd say. As the, you know what, the ZVT of Vindicta, always a ton of fun. Denver as well, a very talented player. I feel like those guys are pretty well matched overall. And definitely one that can go ultimately into the late game. So we're going to have to wait and see if that's going to happen here. There's Vindicta as well now, it looks like. Ah, no, he was already here. I think it was on the wrong account, perhaps? Is that it? Is that the problem here? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna get this started. Of course, we have then on this stream one best of 3, 1 best of 5, and 1 best of 7. For a moment, when actually I was just about to start, I was like, wait, does this mean I have 2 best of 3s, then 2 best of 5s, and a best of 7? That could be a long cast. I could sit here for a while. Also, Clem, if he does make it into the finals, that can't be good for his sleeping schedule. But hey, you know what? That's the life of a StarCraft 2 player, right? He's gonna have to get used to those sleeping moments. Sleepy moments. He's gonna have to learn how to drink coffee as quickly as possible. That's what it comes down to. I know Thermal actually sometimes, like in mid-tournaments when it's getting late, he's just like, alright, let me go get coffee and I'll be right back. And we'll get things sorted. It's 9 PM in France right now. It's 9 PM. But yeah, if he would have to wait for like 1 best of 3, another best of 3, a best of 5, then already you would kind of, you know what, that could be around, I'd say maybe 3 hours, 3 hour-ish, maybe. But then we do have MaxPax involved, so that kind of bumps it down to 2 hours. So that would make it 11. Then we have Clem versus either Bly or Estrella. So depending on who plays him, that could last in that best of 5 as well. Let's call it an hour, maybe a bit more. So that would make it 12, and then the best of 7. Well, maybe 1-ish, 12-ish, the best of 7 would start, which could also take 1.5 hours, around that benchmark. So yeah, it's not the craziest time, honestly, but that would be like what, 1-ish, 1 to 30, somewhere in between there until we're finished. But yeah, not going to happen because Matisse is here. He's doing a second stream for us, the B stream. There will be Denver and Vindicta being played. Following up with whoever wins that one versus MaxPax. And over here we're having Estrella versus versus Bly. And then the winner of this one versus Clem. Alright. It was funny because Estrella, like 9 minutes ago, he said like, oh, I need 1 sec. And Bly was like, well, thank God he didn't say 5 secs. Not 5 secs, but 5 secs. Is that, how can I say that correctly without sounding like I'm talking about something? I don't think I can. Um, 1 10 seconds exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening here. Well, to be fair, the other game hasn't started yet either, so they're also still waiting. Alright, they just hosted their lobby though. They're about to start. Oh well. Let's see how Bly deals with the pressure. Just the overall tension building here. Estrella just buying himself time, trying to Trying to maybe get Bly a little bit underneath his skin, perhaps. That could be a thing here, right? Sometimes. I don't think Estrella would be the person to do something like that. There could just be something happening, of course, in real life that you just kind of has to deal with right now. I just hope, you know what, seeing how much time it's taking, that's nothing too serious. There's not like somebody outside of his room or outside of his house that was in dire need of some sort of help. Would kind of suck if he had to, like, I don't know, drive someone to the hospital or something like that. That would be bad, but we're not gonna jump to conclusions just yet, of course. It looks like the game of Matisse is starting about now. Denver versus Vindicta, so that is on the Matisse stream. Matisse his own Trovo as well. It still is on Trovo, but it's on Matisse. And yeah, I wonder if there's like any type of a time limitation we're giving Estrella here. You should be coming back, right? Estrella usually not somebody that just waits around for a long time, or you know, makes people wait around for a long time. He's a really nice guy, and this wouldn't be something he does without there absolutely being a need to. Unless he's having a poop. That could be the case as well, you know. Just one of those really big ones. Big number 2. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway. So Bitterwood, nice to see you again as well, my man. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? As well. Sushi. Sushi, how are you doing, my man? I mean, you're thanking Bitterwood for always joining us, but you're also always here, Sushi. That's also quite a nice thing. Quite a nice thing. Am I getting Discord messaged or something about this? Oh, I am. Okay, I did get messaged. Are you enjoying Total War? Yes, I am, actually. How do you call this in a nice way? Oh, he's back. There we go. There we go. He's here. Let's hope that's not going to influence him too much, but yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, if that's not a good reason, then I don't know what is. I did call it at some point, right? I also said he had to drive somebody to the hospital, but luckily, you know what? In a way, the toilet's a hospital for the bowels, right? Nice. Blind. Am I enjoying the Total War? Yeah, I really am. I really am. I've started playing as Paris right now, trying to be the archer boy, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I always like archery and artillery in Total War games, and you know what? This one's pretty good too. I've been trying to figure out good ways to utilize them, and in like city maps specifically. The ones where, you know what, it's just the villages. You have really tight choke points, and I'm abusing the heck out of the AI, getting them all clumped up together, and then having like 2 flanks of archers shooting them at the same time. Oh, it's nice. It's so good. I'm winning battles with like 500 losses versus 1500 losses. It's very nice. It's very nice. Anyway. You know what? None of that is really important right now. We'll talk about it maybe in between the games here and there, because I'm having a ton of fun with that game. Anyway, in the top right side there is a red Zerg. He is from the Ukraine. Right now on Razor Edge Gaming, he is Blah. Just barely scraping into this one last time, guys. We'll get into that a little bit later on as well. A blue Protoss here in the bottom left side. He is none other than Alpha Axis US player. He is Estrella. So yeah. If you guys don't remember Bly in that previous series, in the previous round here, it got pretty crazy. It got incredibly crazy. It got down to the wire. He was... it was almost a three-way tie on the bottom for, I believe it was... I know it was Gerald. I know it was Bly. And who was the third person again? I don't like that. I'm forgetting who the third person was. Also a really talented player that I'm just not quite jumping onto the name. Let me look this up, actually. Soul. Right, Soul. Yeah, of course. That's nuts now. I forgot about Soul. Soul, I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't seem to get a break, right? They actually touched upon this in the in a Pylon show not that long ago. That Soul's just one of those players that not quite catching a break. Anyway, I should probably discuss what's happening here in this game as well, as a good commentator would. 6 links here on the way. There is no Zealot yet in production, nor is there a full wall off just quite yet. This could get a little bit tricky, but yeah, Blight really wasn't appreciating the hatchery block, so he's just gone into a little bit of aggression here. Estrella goes for the Adept right now. Needs to wall off the top side. Okay, doesn't do that just quite yet, but the Adept should arrive here. There we go. Okay, just as long as it doesn't get fully surrounded, he should be okay. Trying to micro this as much as possible. Doing an okay job so far. Losing another probe though. Good surround there by Bly. Gets another probe there, right? No, he does. Oh, wait. Estrella killed his own probe. Estrella killed his own probe. Oh, man. The stomach acid just kind of coming into the play here, I would say. Play is actually the a Dutch word for the word toilet. We have a lot of words for toilets in Dutch. Play is one of them. Alright. A single Adept here may be able to return a little bit of the favor here in the worker damage. Already getting 1. Would love to see him get 2 more. Oh, actually, that's nice. Turning the wrong drone here into a Spore Crawler. Actually, both of these players, a little bit of unorthodox mistakes that you wouldn't really expect from players of this caliber, right? Both Bly and Estrella, really well-respected players. Apparently, I haven't talked enough yet today, so I'm still kind of stumbling overall. So, yeah, Estrella killing off his own probe while trying to A-move with his probes onto the Zerglings. Also, then transforming the wrong drone into a Spore Crawler. Now, both of those mistakes, of course, very easy to make overall, right? It's just not something you would that often see anymore, really, right? Maybe once in every, I don't know, 50 games or something. I think making the wrong drone into a Spore Crawler may be a little bit easier to do than A-moving on your probe, but gotta keep it fair. But yeah, it's an odd one in overall. War Prism here is moving out without those Adepts just quite yet. It's gonna be interesting to see what Estrella really is planning to do with the Adept pressure. He is getting himself the glaives. He only has 4 gateways here though, so I'm wondering what is going to be the plan exactly. Maybe he wants to just kind of finish this type of stuff off earlier on, because he is, of course, overall not feeling all that swell today. So maybe if he can make these games short, that would be in his benefit, of course. Let's just hope he will be okay pretty soon on this third base. This should be a cancel. There we go. Depth shading through. Only lets 2 go through, and that's some pretty nice micro there. Just a minimum to try and get a couple of drones. Gets 3 as well, so that is respectable. Overall, War Prism in the main base as well, trying to facilitate some more overall kills. But there's so many roaches right now available for Bly that, you know what? It shouldn't be possible at all whatsoever to kill off any more drones, right? Both players still on 2 base here as well, though, to be fair. And Estrella is ahead in the overall worker count. Now, there is a 3rd base again here on the way for Bly. Estrella not quite picking up on that fact just quite yet, I believe. Yeah. Not quite seeing this. It's a lot of roaches. There's no shield battery yet. There is a immortal, though. A reasonable amount of sentries too, but this could be tricky to deal with since, you know, these units, of course, are at the forefront, and they should be quite easily targetable by those roaches, especially without any shield batteries in here at all. Alright, here we go. Stalkers and the Immortals trying their best. A lot of the sentries already taken out. The Adepts coming in from behind, and that will be a cleanup here for Estrella for a little bit until we go a little bit further on top here and see the rest of those roaches. That's a scary amount, not gonna lie. And Estrella once again going behind those buildings, trying to gain the safety from this location here. He lost his War Prism overall on the other side, so that is a bit of a bummer. Loses the robotics facility as well, so these 2 Immortals is all he's going to be able to work with. Gonna lose the Cybercore as well. It looks like already restarting that Robo though, so not gonna be delayed incredibly much by his attack. Did Estrella again attack his own units here? Man. That's really not something you see that often. And Estrella here now doing it twice in a single game. I really don't think he's feeling all that well. Very unfortunate, but you know what? Bly may be able to take the advantage now because of this. Moves back, doesn't want to quite commit to anything here. Smart move perhaps, as he does have that 3rd base available right now. He's getting the Spire too. Just starting to really macro up, bulk up as a StarCraft 2 Zerg bodybuilder. Oh, that's going to have to be a cancel. Yeah, 2 probes as well going down. Ouch. Ouch. Starting to become a little bit rough here for Estrella overall. He still has a pretty good force. May be able to go across the map here and still do quite a bit before those Mutalisks actually arrive on the map. But it looks like he as well wants to just kind of stay back and play the macro game. Which is, you know what, his overall more accustomed style, right? He loves to go into the later game in PvZ. That's kind of where his style lies. That's where he loves to take these games to. And yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see if this is going to be working out for Estrella right now. There's still a lot of links. Those Mutalisks getting close. There is Blink already available. But of course, with that Cybercore going down, we have the other attack being delayed quite a bit here. We do have a Twilight Council, but no High Templar Archive just quite yet. Having to remake that Robo and the Cybercore. And I guess having to restart that 3rd Nexus a couple of times too. Does kind of cut into your overall wallet, right? As we're seeing 3k minerals lost here by Estrella, 800 gas as well. Only a casual 1800 for Bly in the minerals and 200 in the gas. So definitely having that advantage. Now, to be fair though, Estrella has been on a really good probe count for a long time. Which makes up a little bit for this fact overall. It doesn't just make it an equal fight now because of this, but will help out quite a bit up until the point, of course, when these Mutalisks now are killing absolutely everything. 13 workers do go down. How many Mutalisks did we lose here? Only 3 of them. Oh wait, he does keep them around a little bit longer. No, not another blink will be coming in though. And Bly is getting himself +1 air weapons, getting more Mutalisk. As we are seeing Estrella getting himself the Dark Shrine, +2 attack and charge as well. Alright, I can get behind the Dark Templar overall. I think that would be a nice way to kind of come in here. You don't see Dark Templar suddenly coming up onto the map in this part of the game, right? It is a little bit rare to see that. Sometimes you open up with them. You don't really all that often just kind of go for them at the 10-minute mark, right? That is a little bit of a stranger overall tech route. And maybe that's going to catch Blight off guard as long as he already saw it. He already saw it, so now we're just kind of waiting for the overseers, for the spore crawlers to be constructed here. Already has one spore crawler over here on this fourth base. Would be surprised if we don't see more of those on the way pretty soon. We're not quite seeing more of them on the way just quite yet. Maybe it didn't just quite register, you know. Sometimes, I know Blight's an incredibly quick player. Oh, gets the War Prism though. That's a big problem. Or maybe he's just assuming that Estrella is a good enough player not to try and go for the Dark Templar after it got scouted here. Maybe he thinks he doesn't want to take that gamble. Also, well, he still is, as we can see. A couple of workers do go down. Another DT here in the natural base. And this is starting to get a little bit of damage done, right? 14, definitely very much worth the investment right now. 18, man, it just keeps going. 20 workers, 22. Let's see how many more we can get here in the main base. That would be nice. The Mutalisk continue to do damage as well, though. To be fair, we are starting to get a response to the Mutalisk count here with the double Stargates. It's in the natural base here, but it's going to take a while, of course, to really get yourself enough Phoenixes to fight off against 21 Mutalisk. Especially because they already have that +1 attack. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to work out. There's the fleet beacon as well. More Mutalisks coming in here from the top side. Estrella doing some good moves overall, right? Keeping himself in the game with that counter-aggression. Oh, needs to be careful though. Great force fields on those banelings. Will not allow those to do too much here. The Stalkers as well, taking an alright trade against those Mutalisks. Not a lot of stuff going down there in the form of probes. And having an alright trade overall. More banelings at the front door here as well. Trying to gain access into the natural, but not quite being allowed in with that. Stalker still blocking the way, so good job there by Estrella. More Phoenixes are on the way. We are on 6 right now, and the 7th and 8th are on the way. But we are seeing Blight as well starting to incorporate a single Corruptor so far. Expecting that to become more over time, right? +2 air weapons as well. And Estrella, you know, I mean, for all the good moves that he's making, it's definitely giving him a fighting chance. But ultimately, looking at the supplies right now, 136 versus 86, that is not really favorable for him, is it? It's really difficult to call it favorable for him. Right, here we go again. More good force fields from Estrella, even giving a second for the Zealots to move on by. There we go, more force fields again here, really trying to just stay out of the range there of those banelings. Great micro overall, keeping the Phoenixes engaged with the Mutalisk as well. Let's take a look at how many Phoenixes he lost there. Only 2 of them. I thought he had more Phoenixes right now, but I guess he cancelled the production of those? So he lost 2, and now he has 4 remaining. So maybe he's expecting Blight to get away or transition away from the Mutalisk attack. That's not really happening here whatsoever. He's making more and more Mutalisk, and Estrella stopped his entire Phoenix production. I guess he's going for Storm instead as the answer here. I mean, that could work, I suppose. It's just a little bit more difficult to make it work, but ultimately the High Templar, of course, going to work out against the banelings just as much as it will help out against those against the Mutalisk, and they'll help out in the later parts of this game as well. Okay, here we go. Lovely double-pronged aggression here from Blight. 2 banelings do manage to get in. They dodge the probes, though, so don't go straight in for that one. The Mutalisk, though, on the other hand, in the main base, still doing quite a boatload of damage. 13 workers. Oh, no, and now this army as well actually being taken out. A lot of those High Templars. I think this might be it, guys. This is a lot of damage being taken by Estrella, and he knows. GG it's called. He taps on out. And with it, however scrappy that game started, we're going to have to wait and see if this is, you know what, still a little bit redeemable here for Estrella. Definitely weird, right? Because he did have his probe overall in the position to scout for those initial links. Maybe he just assumed that he wouldn't be taking 5 probe damage there, which, you know what, not a crazy idea overall, since he, you know, it was pretty much on the ball with that adapt timing as well, I have to admit, right? That appeared to be like, normally you would be able to get that adapt out in time, but, well, just barely, not quite working out that way. Game number 2. Game number 2, Bly on fire versus Mr. Estrella again. Of course, Bly now on match points. Estrella has to win 2 games in a row, and we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if he can fight through the illness that he is having right now. Oh man, of course that's just absolutely rough to have to, you know what, play StarCraft 2 when you're not really feeling all that well, but anyway, let's hope he will fight himself through the pain and get himself into, well, at least the position of a tied-up map series here, and then we'll just see how that goes afterwards. Anyway, he is the blue Protoss. He's from Elthax, the United States player. He is Estrella. Bottom right side, that red Zerg. We all know him. He's a absolute legend of StarCraft 2. He's from the Ukraine, Razor Edge Gaming. He is Bly. Pretty much in any open tournaments in the world, Bly has showed his face, ready to take some money. He knows he can take quite a bit of dough from those things, and if you look at his Liquipedia, you can see that he's done so with great success, right? I don't think he ever really took absolute massive tournaments overall. Let me see, actually. Let me see, Bly over here. What real majors did he win? Premier Major, so he got 3rd in the Team Liquid map contest. The Bunchwa Cup, Team Open. Yeah, so 2016 he got 2nd place DreamHack. And another DreamHack 2nd place in 2012. This man, like, never really did too much in those places, but still overall won a whooping 100,000 bucks. No, wait, is that 100,000? I'm confused. Yeah, it is 100,000 bucks for the for overall prize money. So very, very impressive indeed. You know, just kind of paving the way for his own playstyle here. And we all know that he has a crazy playstyle overall. He has had to kind of cut down on his playstyle, of course, after the shield battery buff in a way, right? We all know that that is kind of what was happening here. It did seem like a lot of the patches recently have kind of made it a bit more difficult for Bly to fight his own way against the Protoss, but he's been finding ways to deal with it. He's been incorporating more macro games as well. We all know he can do the macro game anyway, right? He's very much capable of doing so. There's definitely no question about that whatsoever, but of course, it's just a little bit unfortunate seeing a creative spirit like that kind of being forced out of his common playstyle. But you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. It looks like he still has some sneaky stuff up his sleeve. We'll go for a quick lay attack here. Only a single cast just yet, but this could very well be an infestation pit with a Nidus network, right? Seeing the movement of this Overlord, though, it's going to the top again. It could also be a quick Spire here. Or just a Nidus. That could be the case as well, with a bunch of Zerglings. Or it does have that other Overlord here being spotted out, so not going to be able to have it be that easy. Alright, let's see what else he goes for. More drones for the drone god. Alright, lay attack is ready now. There is the infestation pit. Okay. And a Dropper Lord right now being created here as well. So, did he get Overlord speed? He did not. He could get a couple of Zerglings right over here, right? That is already on its own rather nice. He could even drop a single Zergling right over here in case he does want to go for the Nidus play. And then just have a Zergling roaming around here, which becomes very difficult to kind of clean up for Estrella, of course. Vision-wise. As he will have to go and fight against those swarm hosts pretty soon. Estrella also starting to get a bit uppity though. Moving across the map here with that Warp Prism. Adepts going across the map as well. Still needs to fight off against the Lynx in his own base, of course, though. Losing quite a couple of probes. 5 so far. A lot later in the game though, so not as crazy amounts of damage, but the real damage is going to be taking place, of course, with the Swarm Host and the Nidus network. Estrella here looking at all these bases now, kind of realizing, hold up, there's no third base, is there? Oh, he does have Dark Templar though, but I mean, there is already the lay attack up. He already has the Overseer. He's got a pretty beefy force with the Queens. Gonna be a difficult one overall for Estrella here. Can hear the Nidus Worm appear, of course, on the top side of the map here. Let's see where he will send his units to. Another Nidus Worm on the bottom side. The probes being pulled away so far. He doesn't have quite enough of the Swarm Host Locust to really pick off a Nexus. So going for the probes instead is a good call. Stopping that from happening here, though, is Estrella, of course, by just moving them away. And while all of that is going on, he gets 8 drone kills himself on the other side of the map here with a couple of Adepts. So that's a wonderful thing to do in these types of situations. And I'm kind of interested in seeing how Dark Templar deal with these Locusts, right? Do they one-shot them? Because if they do... Oh, they don't actually. That's a bit rough. Well, it helps out a little bit, at least, right? Man, this is a lot of DTs right now being utilized as defensive units. Another Nidus Worm here up on the high ground. Estrella not quite finding this one. More Locusts coming in from the bottom as well, though. Now this damage is really starting to kick in. Estrella still ahead in the overall work account, but... Eesh. I'm not quite sure for how long. There's more and more Swarm Host on the way. And Estrella, although, you know what, I like his attempted Dark Templar defense. I'm not quite sure if this is the right way to try and deal with it. This is another massive wave, and we're starting to get at the moment in time where it will become a possibility to just target down the Nexus here. Probes have to be pulled away again. We did have the bottom Nidus Worm being deleted here, but of course the... Oh my dear lord, actually gets this the DT Shrine. That's a big deal. The Overseer here on the high ground as well. Very difficult to clean up here for Estrella, and he's losing more probes. I think this may be it, guys. This is really starting to snowball. Losing pretty much his entire production, right? Yeah, he has 1 gateway worth of production right now to work with. He does get the Nidus Worm, so forcing these Locusts to be going backwards here a little bit towards those Stalkers, but a second Nidus Worm does come up. Will allow most of those... you know what? He doesn't even retreat. He's like, you know what? I can just sit here. I can just sit here with my Swarm Host. And I can just keep shooting them. He really made it work out nice with how he's rotating the Swarm Host here. Always had at least a little bit of Swarm Host Locust here and there. And oof. GG is called. Bly takes it 2-0 here. Very well played, very well played. A little bit of a cheeky play there in that second game with the Swarm Host. But you know what? Makes it work. And maybe, you know what? Overall, it's going to be a little bit nicer for Estrella, of course. Just kind of, you know, when he isn't feeling all that well, kind of having to, with the stomach cramps. That's never a nice thing, of course. All right. It's never a nice thing. Anyway, that does mean that we are going to be coming up for the European match, Clem versus Bly, which, you know, it should be a pretty darn good one. We've seen this one in the previous group match as well, where we had Clem, actually. I said I would talk about this. The thing was, right, Sol, Gerald, and Bly, they were all about to be tied up for the last spot to enter this, well, to qualify for the second round of this tournament. It was going to be a three-way tie in the round-robin tournament, but Bly managed to take one game away from Clem. One single game. And that managed to ensure himself with a map lead to move on through. Honestly, I think most of the people were anticipating that it was going to be a three-way tie because, you know what, Clem versus Bly. Clem already taking the first game. And I don't know, you don't expect Clem to lose anymore, do you? He's just one of those supreme ace players. In this best of 5, who knows what Bly has planned though. Sometimes Clem can still be caught off guard with quite a bit of nasty overall tech. And we're going to have to wait and see if that's going to be the case here. It's going to be a rough one. It's going to be a rough one. Yeah, Sushi was looking forward to Estrella versus Clem. Yeah, Estrella versus Clem would have been cool, but you know what? Bly versus Clem, I think it's going to be just as awesome to see overall. Just for overall fans, right? And to be fair, if Estrella is feeling sick right now, I mean, it sucks. It sucks that he gets to, you know what, not... You can't just call in for StarCraft 2 tournaments and be like, you know what, well, don't worry, we'll pick it up some later time. It's just not how it works. It's not how it works for these StarCraft 2 players. You have to kind of commit. So I'm hoping that Estrella will feel better soon. And we'll be able to, you know what, just be there, strong and proper again for the next one. And you know what, now we got Bly versus Clem. So nothing to be mad about, unless if you're an extreme Alpha X fan like I know Sushi is, because you know it's kind of his team. So all right, thought Swarmhost has fallen out of the meta in ZVP. I don't think it is. It's still used sometimes, right? And to great effect as well. Like a lot of people still like to use it, especially on Golden Wall. It's a very useful map to kind of make that happen on. Just a very big map overall, right? With the walk distance overall makes it even bigger. Becomes difficult to deal with Nidus Wims on the bottom side. Then you have the top side and you have the middle side, right? So you have 3 very good locations, maybe even 4. You could make the case if you count 2 places at the bottom there to pull up those Niduses down. And you know what? It's a game of whack-a-mole that becomes incredibly difficult. Honestly, you may even be able to make it work against Terrans. Maybe not against Clem though, but maybe against a lesser Terran if you're Bly. Talking about Bly, he's here, the red Zerg player. In the bottom right side, he is from Raise Your Edge Gaming. Bly on fire. Bottom left side, blue Terran player right there for Team Liquid, of course. He's the Frenchman. He is Clem. Some say the chosen one for the European Terran scene. It's very cool to see overall Clem just kind of paving the way, just being like, you know what? You know what, these European Terrans, they're pretty darn good overall, right? They manage to take wins here and there. They're just not on the level of the Korean Terrans. And you know what, he would be right. He would be right. In that overall time period, that was completely true. But in came Clem. In came Clem, and he just twisted that knob of overall Terrans in the EU level way up there. Brought it up to the same level as Koreans, I would say, and I mean, pretty soon afterwards, suddenly we were seeing these other European Terrans, right? Hero Marine, Euthermal, just suddenly kind of also coming in, really starting to ramp up their overall skill. Alright. Do I know I have sound enabled? I do, right? Ah, there we go. Music! Standard play so far, up until this second barracks coming out here for Clem. Making it look very standard so far, though. The second barracks, is that, you know, it's not something you see every day here. Could be for a quick timing push, of course, off of the 2 base. Could be just because he's playing against Bly and he just wants to play it safe. Didn't think Bly would win. Well, yeah. I mean, he is a really good player, honestly. And Estrella, to be fair, like here and there, you did see some mistakes, right? That I'm not used to seeing him again anymore. To see him make those mistakes. So I really do think he was just really not feeling it today. Like he did say he had a stomach ache, so that makes a lot of sense, right? I don't think it's just cheese. I think that's not completely true. You know what? He did do a couple of cheeses here and there. That's true. In the 2 games overall. Right, very early spawning pool with 6 links running across the map in the first game. The second game going for the swarm host. And they definitely worked, but did still definitely felt playable to me as well still. Clem just trying to get this Reaper back to safety, and oh my dear lord, this micro. Always so impressive seeing Clem do this type of stuff. Oh my god, he's gonna keep it up. Are you kidding me? Oh, don't go back. Oh god, he's trying to go back. Okay, another nade play, and there you go. Okay, he's fine again. How does he do this? Tell me, how does he do this? So more probably all in builds. I'm not quite sure. I'm not used to the 360p. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that either, Boy Fantasy. Anyway, what I do know is that we're having a quick Spire play here from Bly, one of those builds that a lot of Terrans do seem to be having a difficulty against. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be a difficulty here for Clem though, as he already has 2 medevacs ready to come across the map here. A ton of Marines available because of that quicker second barracks right now. We'll be getting rid of these Zerglings. The Zerglings, you would say it would be a good idea to try and get into that main base, but you know, like try to get a little bit of scouting going. Not quite happening here, just marching around. Oh, we'll still get himself another SCV. That is always nice. The Clem drop ran into a boatload of Queens and Zerglings there. Unfortunately for Clem, it did get spotted, so we'll not be able to do a lot of work with this drop. But he will be moving in here to clean up some creep, and that, you know what, on its own already allows him to be in a better position, because this, of course, allows you to do some later on pushes a lot easier. The less creep there is, the easier it will be to push at some later point, and it's always very crucial in these moments of time to get yourself already right on top of denying as much creep as possible. Bly also doing a good job, of course, though, right now with immediately bringing it back. But hey. But hey, what you gonna do? Mutalisk here on the menu as well. Looking for a bit of a score, perhaps, on that second base. Oh, excuse me. We are seeing, though, of course, a lot of Marines here on the fields, providing a nice bit of cover fire. And actually, you know what, Clem not even going to be able to do, well, not even going to try to deal with these Mutalisk here on this side of the map. Mutalisk providing quite a bit of damage though, will cut open the supply depot, allowing the Zerglings to gain entrance here to the SCV line. At the same time, though, this means that, you know what, there's no baneling speed right here. There's pretty much nothing in the way for Bly as a defense, right? So this attack here for Clem could do quite a bit too. There's still a couple of Zerglings here that I would love to see get cleaned up by Clem. Oh my god, I don't think he knows about them. Losing a lot of extra works, which he maybe not really had to lose. This attack, though, definitely looks like it could work out as long as he pays attention to this. This is the main force, of course, that he really has to pay attention to. There is still a good amount of Marines protecting those siege tanks against the Mutalisk. They are very important to keep safe. Bly, though, bulking up more and more Zerglings, making this more and more difficult to really push into. 3 spine crawlers as well have been made here. The baneling speed still rather far removed from this location, targeting down with the siege tank. So the banelings, yeah, really without that speed, not finding any value whatsoever. Okay, there we go, another nice target here. That's to watch out for those spines. The spines getting quite a bit of value here together with those queens now. Again, a good target with the Marines, but ultimately, I'm worried about these spine crawlers. They are gaining so much value right now. 6 kills, 3 kills. And that's all Marines. That's 9 Marine kills. That is a ton of them overall. Just pulling away a little bit here. Maybe would have helped out a little bit. But you know what? It's still enough Marines just barely to clean up the Mutalisk, or at least force them to move backwards. There we go. Now doing a good job here overall at forcing the drones off the line. The drones now being targeted by the siege tanks as well. The Marines are too many though. GG is called, and there we go. Clem taking game number 1. Denver just beat Vindicta forever. Was curious. Oh man, that's unfortunate for the Alpha X boys. Both of them getting eliminated there from the first round in the playoff series here. Ah well. Ah well. So yeah, guys, in case you aren't aware, there is a second stream going on as well. Matisse, a very talented coach of StarCraft 2, talking about the game there as well. Getting everything together. And, well, we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see how the rest of that is going to move onwards, of course. Just a little bit. I'm trying to get things together here as well. Alright, second game between Bly and Clem. Hoping that, you know what? I don't know. Hoping that we're going to see another good game here. Oh man, Bly really trying hard there with those Mutalisk and the Zerglings counter aggression there. Not quite finding the killing blow though. I think it is just continuously Clem just knowing exactly what he has to do. Being on top of whenever those Marines come out of the barracks. Just rushing them into the missile turrets. Alright. In the top left side, we have ourselves a red Zerg. Yes, playing for Raise Your Edge Gaming. He's the Ukrainian. He is Bly. He managed to make it a close best of 3 the previous time they played in this tournament. But now it's a best of 5 against this boy. The blue Terran player. He is already 1 point on the board. He's the Frenchman from Team Liquid, Clem. Nice. Okay. That is awesome to hear. We just got confirmation that we will be doing a co-cast, Matisse and I, together with the finals. So then you know what? We're gonna have a blast together. It's always fun casting with Matisse. Very nice guy overall, and with a lot of good insights. I'm always happy to learn from him. By the way, guys, as this game is starting up, we do have the Matcherino code. I see Sushi just recently posted about it, so you see that link over there. If you click on the link, you grab that code with you as well. You don't really need to make an account. You just kind of need to press on the link, then use any social media platform that you're already logged in onto your browser with, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. You can press that button to sign in with it, and then if you press contribute, and in the coupon code, fill in that coupon code, what is it, AXSS7, you will get yourself 50 cents added to the prize pool just for free. Nothing there, no strings attached whatsoever. And yeah, would be nice. His internet is fixed. He can go back to 60 FPS. What a man. Boy Fantasy showing us how it's done. Fixing his internet while watching StarCraft 2 as well. What a nutter. What a nutter. What an absolute pro. Reaper here, trying to get a bit of work done. Only getting a single Ling so far. Nice control by Bly. I guess losing one Ling, not the greatest, but you know what? Putting that Reaper very low on the HP bar anyway, so if he did want to make a a creep tomb in it right now, he would have been able to get away with it. Reaper did get healed up though. While playing SC2, yeah, it would be even better, of course, if you fixed it while playing. That's true. That is true. Well, to be fair, just playing wouldn't be that impressive. If you were to win the game as well, that would be really impressive, but you know. Anyway. Ooh, Nelly. Alright. Pretty reasonable scout there for Bly, I'd say, right? Sees the reactor on the factory, saw the starport very close to that tech lab, so already that's a very, very high likelihood of getting yourself some Banshees on the field against you pretty soon here. And Bly, again, going for a quick lay attack here. I'm just waiting for the moment we're going to be seeing a proxy hatchery from Bly. I'm really hoping for it. I'm crossing my fingers. Looks like he's kind of grown out of that, though. That would require some insane multitasking. That's right. That's right. I mean, Bly's only on a casual 1000 APM right now. I'm sure he would be able to do it, right? Spire and the Spine Crawler. Similar in name, but completely different in what they do. There we go. Right, so yeah, the safety of that Spire not quite here just yet, as this attack is already coming in. The Spine Crawler needs to buy itself a little bit of time here. The Queens and the Spine need to get rid of those Hellbats as quickly as possible, so the Zerglings might be able to get some work done here. Just buying one or two more extra shots, and I think he's gonna be okay here, honestly. All right, Bly, yeah, he pretty much holds nicely here. The Banshee on 1 HP, good targeting on that one, not letting anything die so far. Just for a moment, hold that thought. Will he keep that going though? Yeah, there we go. Good, good surround with those Zerglings. How much did he lose though overall? It was 1400 minerals lost, and that has 35 Zerglings, 1 Spine Crawler, 2 Queens, and Overlord. Overall, you know what? I'm not sure if that was worth it for Clem. But I don't think he's too bothered with the results of this, right? Because, I mean, he didn't just get to do a really good solid trade, right? He forced out a lot of Lings, he forced out more Queens, he forced out a Spine Crawler, and this also allowed him to scout that Spire as well, right? So now he knows this is coming, and now we are seeing those missile turrets already up and ready to roll. A good amount of Marines here, also ready to shoot away at those Mutalisks. There we go, killing off another one. Always a welcome sight for Clem. And while all of this is happening as well, remember, guys, Clem is ahead in the work account. So we're gonna take a look-see real quick here in a moment as soon as these Mutalisks kind of. Oh my god, that Widowmine was hidden very sneakily. 2 more Widowmines right here now. So maybe if he can kind of hurt those Mutalisks to the south. Oh my god, another Widowmine. Oh my dear lord. 5 of those Mutalisks already gone. Just like that. Man. Not even I saw those Widowmines. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, right, yeah, the income grab. Yep, that is definitely looking rather nice here for Clem. Under the 10-minute mark. Well, actually under the 8-minute mark already, having that much of an advantage is absolutely insane. The micro and macro combined from Clem is always what makes him one of those really absolutely terrifying players. Attempting a little bit of a mind drag here from Bly to get the Widowmines to get shots onto the Marines itself. Doesn't quite have enough Zerglings to do so though, so has to run away again with the Zerglings, so they will draw the Widowmine shot, but don't quite get killed before the Widowmine actually makes that connection, of course. Another Widowmine here, perhaps will go down. No. I don't think Clem minds too much if he loses this force right here. And I don't think he will, because already there's so much reinforcements here. Clem, oh my dear lord. What a man. He's, yep. This is Clem alright. That's Clem alright. GG again. I think Cure defended this easily from Dark. If only... if only this was Cure versus Dark, guys. It's not. It's Bly versus Clem. It pretty much is the EU version of Dark versus Cure, though. You could make the case. You know what? If you wanna get technical. 2-base Muta on a small map. It could work. It could work. I'm honestly a little bit surprised that we are seeing that actually as the second map already here. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? I'm not sure, because that is like, I feel like that's the most favorite Terran map in the entire map pool. So I'm a little bit surprised we saw that actually at all in the ladder, or in this, in the map pool for these two guys, right? Oh. I think he pressed he pressed start before Clem actually said he was ready. So Acer, Mr. Bly, moving out of that one before it started. There we go. There's the ready sign. Clem. I don't think... There we go. Here we go. Game number 3. It's looking a little bit one-sided so far, guys. Oh, oh man. Getting a little bit of a GSL finals kind of vibe over here, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh man, is it? I don't know. Is there anybody here that hasn't watched the GSL finals yet, but is extremely anxious to see what happens in it? Because I kind of want to talk about it. I kind of want to discuss here. All right. Anyway, I'll let anybody. I'll do the introductions if nobody complains about you know what, me not talking about it. I will actually, because of spoilers, of course, not just because you want to forget about it. I will just start mentioning things. Anyway, in the top right side there is a red Zerg player from Razor Edge Gaming. He's the Ukrainian. He is Bly. Bottom left side. The blue Terran player, he is from Team Liquid. The Frenchman, he is Clem. Alright, GSL Finals. I mean, oh man. Oh man, after the previous one, I didn't think it could get much worse, but... but... Ooh. Man, that was rough. That was a rough one. I didn't get to see it live. I kind of watched with one eye as well. Still playing Total War, so... But man, like, honestly... the thing that sticks most in my head right now is, like... Tasteless calling it... Like, it was from that one movie where a guy just kind of grabs the gun from the assailant and then just moves his hands around and then the gun is just disassembled entirely. And that's how it felt. And I think that kind of, you know what, overall, kind of felt how that entire series went. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. The GSL Finals not quite delivering recently, right? It's a bummer. It is a bummer for sure. Because it's rare to have like GSL Finals that are extremely one-sided, first and foremost. And then to have two of those in a row. Like, what's in the what? It's such a shame, you know. It's one of the most looked to StarCraft 2 tournaments. And... You know, we as well, we benefit if GSL does well overall. The other StarCraft 2 tournaments do better as well, right? Because people get hyped about StarCraft 2. They're like, alright, that was awesome. Those games were amazing. Let's go watch some more StarCraft 2 somewhere else, right? The next day, because man, those games were cool. I would love to see some more of that. Also, it's, you know what, it's on YouTube Gaming right now, so new people coming in there, I'd say, overall, right? New people finding out what's happening with that game. And the kids, right, who are on the YouTubes, who haven't quite yet discovered Twitch, right? On the just browsing through YouTube Gaming, looking for their Fortnites, suddenly seeing, wait, what's this? StarCraft. Oh, it's also free to play. Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know. It's a bummer. I'm bummed out about it. But let's just hope the next one will be a bit better. It's gonna be funny though when they make like the montages of the best GSL Finals ever, and then they, you know what, they just forget about these two, the last two. They just don't put them in there at all. It just lacks TVP-Z in the finals. If it was the TVZ finals, then it would be really good. Maybe. I think that's mostly, though, because of the Terran player kind of perspective, right? Like, I really didn't mind it being a Protoss. Stats specifically. I absolutely adore Stats. He's an amazing player overall. I don't know what happened to him. I hope it was a little bit of nerves as well, perhaps. But overall, man, it's a bummer when he goes down like that. If it's like Dark vs. Maru, like GSL Super Tournament 1. I mean, yeah, I think pretty much a lot of players love to see TVZ. Overall. I think PVZ is also really starting to get to a good spot overall. TVP as well. I mean, if you have the right players, man, that matchup can be extremely awesome. Like, if you put Clem against some of the best Protoss players, oh my dear lord, are you in for a show? But, you know, when it's... I think the major problem was, yeah, the PVZ matchup is just... It just feels odd to me. It feels off to me in a sense. I don't know if it is a balancing. I don't know if it's just a meta thing what people are doing most of the time right now, but it's hard to say. Anyway, I'm going to talk about this game as well a little bit here. 2 Medivacks. We can talk about GSL stuff later on with Matisse as well again. I suppose. This is a big attack. There's again no baneling speed. That's a problem. This base may go down here. This is starting to look more and more likely. Alright, there we go. Oh, it's a get off of creep. There we go. Okay, now we can start targeting those banelings again. Lovely stuff here by Clem. Taking some good trades overall. Look at that. Lovely stuff. Getting that hatchery very low as well. So may come in at some later point. Snipe it down. And yeah, I don't blame him. Already moving across more stuff here. There is Blight looking for the reinforcements. Not seeing any reinforcements just quite yet though. Would have been nice if he caught those two siege tanks carrying medevac there. But I guess he didn't really have enough Mutalisk anyway to really facilitate a quick kill on that one. Alright, in comes Clem. That third base will go down. And you know what? Blight, during all of this, when this base got really low, he made a new macro hatchery in his main base. I would have loved it if he just made his new hatchery right over here. Right on this new third base location. And then just kind of hold over here, right? Damn. I think we're there already, guys. I think Clem may have done it again here. He is, he's just not letting Blight have a moment's rest right now. And you know what, Blight, he's a very strong player overall. I think Clem may just be a little bit better. Looking at those splits, there you go. 2 banelings killing 2 marines. That's not what you like to see as a Zerg. GG it's called. Blight going down 3-0 this time, not being able to get himself a point on the board, unfortunately. But you know what, Clem will be moving onwards into the finals. And yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what's happening there in the other side of the bracket. Let me take a look. That best of 5 is, of course, going to be Denver versus MaxPax. I would love to see either of those guys going up against Clem. But we'll have to wait and see, of course, what is going to be happening. I think MaxPax overall, right? Probably the favorite of those two, I would imagine. MaxPax and Denver. What kind of score would you kind of get there? It depends, right? MaxPax, one of those players that can be a little bit volatile overall. So maybe 3-1, 3-2 for MaxPax. He's been tearing apart players though recently, right? I mean, he went 4-0 in series in that previous group bracket. Let's take a look. He did lose 1 game against Nemshar overall, but the rest of it, let me see. He lost MaxPax. He didn't lose against Estrella. He didn't. Well, he only lost 1 game against Euthermal. And he beat Vindicta as well. Well, only losing 1 game there too. So 3 games lost in overall score. Not as good as Clem, of course. But you know what? He did look absolutely amazing there. So I am secretly hoping we're going to get those 2 youngsters here in the finals together. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, Boy Fantasy's overall wish is granted here. Of course, does have a Terran in the finals. So, yeah. Nice job there. Nice job there. 1 thing has been acquired. I'm just scared of Clem, dude. I really am. He is looking so incredibly strong. He could just take this entire thing pretty soon. Anyway, guys, we're gonna, you know what, give ourselves a little bit of a breather here. And, we'll have to wait about... for a little bit here for the other best of 5 to finish up. And while we wait, guys, say hi to our sponsors here for a little bit. We have some play of the day, and they are brought to you by our lovely sponsors, G Fuel. So go say hi to those. Actually, should I do that? I could do this one as well. Actually, let's do this one, right? G Fuel brought us some lovely music, a lovely cover. of a StarCraft 2 song that we all very much enjoy. So we'll be right back, guys, and hopefully Max Pax and Denver won't last too long. See you in a little bit, and once we're back, we're gonna do a you know what, Matisse and I will do the final cast here, the best of 7. See you in a little bit. What's up? Well, we'll be joining Matisse right now. Oh wow, it's 2-0 for Denver. Oh my dear lord. Okay. Okay, let me get into a call here with Matisse. Matisse, my boy. Where is he? Where is he on my little friend list? Alright, well, I have to search. There he is. I'm gonna start a call. Starting the call. Waiting for him to make his appearance. How you guys like my cool hat? I'm a cool boy now.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Really well, man. I'm really happy to hear your voice.
You
Always
are?
brings
Nice.
pleasure to me and joy.
Nice. Oh man, it's good to hear from you as well. Always brings me pleasure and knowledge and overall good fortune as well in the overall casting thing, I suppose.
Awesome, man.
So Denver already 2-0. I thought MaxPack should have this in the bag, but apparently not.
Well, you know what? Before the game, I checked MMR for these players, and MaxPack is on 6k MMR, while Denver is at 6.7.
Oh,
so
man.
that was maybe a slight suggestion how it might actually go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my wait, I actually already just automatically put the score on my side in favor for MaxPax as well, almost automatically. That's not supposed to happen. Anyway, let me close this stuff. Should we do introductions? You can start. You can start with the whatever ones you want.
Okay, so I will go for Zerg because I'm a Zerg player, right?
Makes sense.
So in our top right corner, our red Zerg from France, that's Denver.
Bottom left side, there he is, the Danish little youngster, the blue Protoss. He is MaxPax.
Yes, currently losing 2-0 to Denver, and he decides to already bring some cheeky plays into this. We've got Gateway into Forge. So the question is, what is he gonna do with that Forge? I assume this is going to be some kind of cannon rush. Do you assume that as well?
Well, it used to be a cannon quick expand, right, back in the day, but don't think people do that anymore. And, you know, this would be a very forward expand if this was going to be an expand behind this, but I think you might be right. I think we might be onto something here. Wait, can he like force his way out of the pylons here by making a cannon? Or okay, no, he will cancel.
Just, yeah.
Fine
So
enough.
this is actually quite problematic for Denver because he will not be able to deny this cannon through any kind of drone pools or anything. There's just so little surface area for these drones to deny this. So this cannon will go up, and once cannon is up, it's already quite painful for Zerg. But it seems probe died, which is quite a big deal. So MaxPax is not able to build any kind of proxy robo or anything here, but the cannon survives. So the question is how it's gonna go further, I guess.
Oh, he is trying to make some of those spine crawlers right now. Zerglings as well want to nibble away on that. I think that it has to be a cancel. Okay. You have to follow this up with something else as well, right? Does he does have the cyber cores, so I mean it could go into the Robo or the Stargate, I suppose.
Yeah, the thing is here that actually Denver doesn't have to dive on this. As long as hatchery or drones are not under danger here, then he can literally just ignore this, you know? Okay, there is the robo here, so that's the follow-up plan for MaxPax. And actually Denver decides to dive on it, and I could very well see him just dying right now because shield batteries are very good in this position, man.
They really are. Oh my dear lord, nothing is dying. Gee. Oh, the salt. Gee, could you hand me that salt?
Yeah, Denver, I would say, is he actually hates cannon rushes. I think. I think I remember he got knocked out of IM Katowice or something with this, and then he made a quite big post on Twitter about cannon rushes and how he's not happy with them and stuff like that. And well,
it's never a smart idea to do. That's just like kind of like saying, "Hey, you want to beat me? Do this tactic. I will tilt and I will make mistakes because of it."
That's a
but
good
yeah,
point. Yeah,
what would you say about like overall cannon rush holding? Do you think it would be better like where we saw the Zerglings and the spine crawlers, or just maybe Ravagers? Right, Ravagers could be an approach as well. But then you give a lot more time to the robo, right? So then suddenly Immortals are there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a rough
I
one.
Whenever I ladder, I just die to things like this.
Yeah.
Maybe like a boss with 5 spine crawlers, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. I usually try to actually just pull workers very early and deny this kind of cannon rush, and I just kill a cannon before it actually gets up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you, man. I have a similar situation with that type of stuff. Usually, when it does occur, it doesn't end well for me. But anyway, in the top left side over here, we have a blue Brothels player fighting for Team Axon. He is the Danish player, Maxpax.
And in bottom right corner, our French Zerg currently leading 2-1, possibly tiny bit tilted about the previous game. That's our French Zerg, Denver.
Oh man, I do enjoy myself some good old Maxpax though. I thought, to be honest, I thought this game or this series would be the one that would be over sooner than the other one. Right? I know it's versus Blight, to be fair, but like Blight, he doesn't really do that much cheese anymore recently.
In ZVT, I guess, you know, and in other matchups, I still see him cheesing quite a bit. But
yeah.
Yesterday we've had Soul versus Bly, and basically every game was like 20 minutes slugfest or something like that.
I guess I should change that sentence a little bit and say like I didn't see the cheese I was hoping for.
Okay.
I didn't get to see the proxy hatcheries and stuff like that. You know, that just wasn't on the menu anymore.
So what happened? Did Clem just roll Bly or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a little bit nasty. Blight kept trying to go for the Mutalisk, and well, Clem just continuously had more than enough Marines and Withermines, and it wasn't. It really felt a little bit one-sided, unfortunately. But hey, it's Clem, you know.
Yeah, he's good.
It's really
good. So, what happened already in this game is some pretty crazy mind games. Maxpax did not cannon rush this time, but he behaved with his probe like he would be cannon rushing. So he pretended that he's cannon rushing. I think Denver was forced to pull a couple of workers, which resulted in a situation where he lost quite a bit of mining time. For almost essentially free. I guess there was pylon cancel, so that's 25 minerals. But I would say this is also another thing that can be quite frustrating as a Zerg to deal with, where you are so excited that you managed to defend the cannon rush, but there was no cannon rush coming at all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if you opened up the income graph already, but that kind of really indicates, you know what that did overall, right?
So what's the hotkey for income graph?
Numpad 1.
Numpad 1.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. See, I'm learning from you now. You're the expert caster. Yeah. So that did quite a lot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see like in the 300 overall advantage there. Very nice. There is an Overlord scouting this Stargate right now from Maxpax as well. So that overall is a nice thing for Denver, though. The things that are looking up for him.
Yeah.
But he is supply blocked.
This supply block is a little painful, but on the other hand, and knowing about Stargate so early is quite comfortable because, for example, Denver can right now delay even he can delay his Roach Warren, he can delay his Zerglings. He might just have a very specific response against a Stargate that he likes. For example, I've seen some people that just keep mining gas for a very long time and rush very fast 4th base. Because when you face targets, to some extent, you cannot really punish fast 4th bases. So Denver didn't decide to go for it because he continuously mines gas, which I'm actually very curious. What is he going to do with it? But let's see if that Oracle is going to achieve anything. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to because how well Denver is prepared.
Yeah, in he goes. Tries to take down the Spore Crawler here. Should be able to force the cancel. Gets 2 drones there. Just not maddening amounts of damage, but yeah, it's something.
It's something. Yeah, I would say 2 drones is just absolute bare minimum, which is still kind of not enough, you know. As Protoss, I think you're expecting at least like 3 and like I would say 5 to 7 is the dream, which actually happens quite rarely. But I would say like you want to go for between 2 and 4, and then you can be a little happy with yourself. But 2 workers is definitely just on the low end, and I'm not even convinced it's really paid off.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Would it be a little bit better though because he didn't go for the full base quickly here?
True. Yeah, I'm still very curious to see what Denver is doing with all that gas, because he has 300 gas banked up, and he didn't really achieve anything with it. Maybe he is banking it because he wants to go Mutas or something. But let's see. Actually, is he aware at all of the fact that this is 2 Stargate Phoenix? I think he just maybe realized because he's adding 1 more spore. But this is not that many queens, and these Phoenixes potentially could nice. They are denying the 4th, and they could actually fight these queens most likely quite soon.
Alright, does have some of them flying over those queens still, but here we go, clicking off more of those drones. We saw the roach speed as well being constructed, so yeah, okay, there is the Spire now. That's the answer to the question of where was what's all this gas for. Okay, I thought saw MaxPax. What are you doing? There's that Overlord there.
Yeah.
Easy pick off.
Exactly. I think Denver's actually in a little bit of trouble because these Phoenixes managed to kill quite a lot of stuff on one hand, and on the other hand, is this Roach tech really going to be that useful? I'm actually not convinced because, well, I guess the question is what is going to come out of Spire. I think that should be Corruptors, because with this number of Phoenixes going Mutas, it's literally just suicide. So we are going to see Corruptors, and on the other hand, it seems like MaxPax is already aware of that, because he is going to Void Rays, which are very strong against Corruptors.
I don't remember the last time I've seen somebody actually genuinely going for Void Race at the 7-minute mark in ZVP.
Well, it sometimes happens when you go 3 Stargate and you want to go into carriers very quickly.
Yeah.
Sometimes people like to open with a couple of Void Rays just to make Corruptor transitions just more difficult, right? So it could actually be very well a carrier transition later on from what we are seeing so far from MaxPax. But actually, well, there's charge, so it still is not definitive whether he's going to just rely on ground units or he's going to go into Skytest. But I think this Templar Archives clearly tells us that he actually intends to just play quite normal standard ground-based army with Archons and charge lots and stuff like that. And he initially got just these Phoenixes and a couple of actually Adepts as well to just apply a little pressure. But it seems to me like Denver should be able to hold this off reasonably quickly.
Okay.
Unless he actually has no units whatsoever, so he actually might lose this 4th because there are no units on the ground. There are only Corruptors in the sky, which should do the job. But yeah, okay, so the 4th is actually not in danger, so I think Denver is absolutely fine. His worker count is really nice, so the question is, what is he going to follow up it with?
Good question. Well, he is still making more Corruptors, so you know what, with a logical follow-up here, just to try and get yourself towards the Greater Spire, to try to get yourself to that position to move into the late game, or would it be okay to just kind of keep those Corruptors and then try to go for a lot of Roaches with it, and then perhaps go for an offensive here?
Yeah, he could literally just be spamming tons of Roaches and tons of Corruptors, and in this particular situation, this could actually be fine and could work, because Corruptors are supposed to win the fight in the air, and Roaches most likely will win the fight on the ground, because there are no Immortals. Okay, there's one being built right now, so if Denver manages to just attack and maybe hit really nice timing, there is opportunity for Roach Corruptor to work, and well, we'll see whether that's going to be the case.
Have 3 Archons and still a little bit of a War Prism harassment there in the middle as well. That could come into play. Luckily for MaxPax, those Corruptors are on the wrong side of town right now. So he has a moment here to gather his forces. Those roaches, I guess a couple of them on the scouting mission, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So, I mean, he did go for a lot of roaches. He's not applying any pressure. He is making that infestation pit in this case. He's getting burrow as well, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I've seen him misclick that once, and he got, and then he cancelled it. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the case as well this time. But there's quite a serious push from MaxPax, and are roaches going to be enough to hold this? This is actually quite a scary push.
It is absolutely terrifying with all those charge slots, the Archons, and the immortal charge slots in the main base as well. Actually, about to take out the spawning pool, even when there's 3 of those zealots not working. Well, not working with the rest of the team right there. It's like one of those school projects where just 3 of them are sitting there when the other 3 are doing all the work. But
exactly.
Oh well.
Which one were you?
I've been both.
Okay. Well, yeah. Diplomatic answer. All right. Yeah, but this push actually dealt quite a bit of damage because the Denver right now is only on 65 workers. I don't think that spawning pool really matters that much, but losing these workers is quite meaningful. But on the other hand, MaxPax actually lost quite a lot of units while he was executing that. So the question is he actually going to survive this push, because Denver has massive army.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to be able to get at least that hatchery there, but not even that was allowed to be taken from Denver here. And Denver, as you said, this is one massive army. A Archon on the bottom side there, not quite finding a good opportunity either. And then there's still the Corruptors too. They could just like Corrosive Bile right now for free.
Yeah, I think MaxPax could actually be just dying right now. If he loses his 2 Nexi here, and on he's barely just surviving at the 3rd base, he has quite a lot of money in bank actually, which is saving grace for him. So he could technically rebuild this Nexi, but still he is just barely actually surviving from the ground onslaught. And these Corruptors could continuously be killing more Nexi as well. So I don't see a long-term plan for MaxPax, because right now most of the things that are happening are just causing him tons of troubles.
Looks pretty though, all those probes moving around. He's making good use of the burrow upgrade, by the way, as well.
Yeah,
the rapid just being burrowed near those immortals there. Kind of funny looking, but yeah, these Corruptors, they have free reign over the skies. They not much of an answer anyway in sight here for MaxPax. Well, I guess he's trying still, of course, but it does seem to be a little bit hopeless here. 120 army supply versus 50. I mean, what is a guy supposed to do here?
Well, on the other hand, this is still pure Roach Ravager, right? So, and then his 3rd base and 4th base, which are the most healthy, they still mine reasonably well. So MaxPax, if he manages to chrono boost tons of immortals, but I think he still has 1 robo. So his army is relatively good when it comes to composition, right? There are immortals, there are Archons, and there are charge loads. So this is quite good army against Roach Ravager. So if Denver continues to build mostly Roach Ravager, which is actually not that great unit composition, then if MaxPax, for example, right now he has some time on his hands for some reason, he's not continuing the attack only now, so that gave MaxPax to actually reach 150 supply, which is actually quite reasonable. So maybe there is some hope for him right now. We will have to see.
Getting hairy again here. He's doing a little bit of counter aggression as well with 2 zealots, killing off 7 drones there, but again the roaches are on his front door. The Corrosive Bile actually now on the more useful Nexus here. The shield battery overcharge not quite enough, and MaxPax taking more punches to the nose right now. You know what, we were talking about the Void Race. It was looking like he was gonna get a Void Race here. Honestly, people are hating on the Void Race, but just having a couple Void Race in situations like these, I don't think it would be a horrendous thing.
I agree. And by the way, while all of this was happening, there was quite a big charge dot counter attack at the 5th base of Denver, so he lost even more workers. So actually his worker count for quite a long time was something like 55, 58 the workers, which is very low for a Zerg. So, and even right now they have very similar worker count, which for a Zerg that is relying on Roach Badger is actually quite bad news because your units are not cost efficient. So there's actually on one hand tons of them, sure, but on the other hand they just are not that great. So if MaxPax manages to stabilize, this could still be a little problematic for Denver. But the question is he going to stabilize? Because he got caught off guard completely on open field. So these storms actually, yeah, so he's using the ramp quite nicely, but on the other hand, his numbers are just dwindling all the time.
He lost his 2 Nexi again as well in the main base, and this natural. I'm pretty sure he was going to lose that 4th base as well. It's a nasty one. That is definitely a nasty one.
Yeah. So in this situation, I agree. Voiders would actually be really nice. You know.
Yeah.
I generally am not a huge fan of Voiders against Zerg. I think they are rather bad. But if Zerg relies on roaches and corruptors, then this is one of these very rare scenarios where they are actually very strong.
Yeah. To be fair though, probably if he had made those Void Rays, Denver wouldn't have gone for Roach Corruptor army.
True.
But yeah, it's a difficult one. Honestly, I you know what? It's mostly because I run into that type of stuff very often, right? Mm-hmm. On my rank, people love Void Rays, but
okay. Yeah, and well, the thing is, in order to deal with Voiders, you just need to get some spellcaster like a Fangal or blind or Parasitic Bomb, or ideally even both. Then Voiders suddenly very quickly fall apart, right? So they are strong if you, for example, don't know how to deal with them, or you're going for, or you didn't scout them or something. But once you are aware these are Voiders and you've got very clear things to do, and then the value of them is really not that big, I think.
Maybe that's true, or maybe you know what, you're all wrong, and you're you're just not dying to them correctly. That's my my take on it.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
I could be.
All right. So we've got our final, huh? Denver versus Clem. Who do you think is gonna win?
Well, I mean, I think that is a clear favorite here, honestly.
Yeah.
So I do think Clem will be taking this one. The score, though, on the other hand, I'm not completely certain. I did see Clem just face off against Bly, and that was a little bit terrifying. The fun thing was actually that, like, 2 minutes afterwards, I saw I saw Bly in a different tournament channel going like, okay, yeah, I will veto now.
Yeah, he's a beast, you know. He plays like 10 tournaments a week. So.
Yeah, he plays 10 tournaments in a night if he can.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, I just lost this one. I can sign up for this one. Or he's like, oh, I'm playing this person now. I might lose. Let me just sign up for this. If I lose, then I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, and look how efficient he is, because his games are taking not that long time. Then he can win more games within a shorter period of time, for example.
Yeah, man, he's a true entrepreneur of the StarCraft 2, you know, player business model, I'd say.
Yeah, I always like to laugh at that story that TLO used to say. He was laughing at Snoot very often, because Snoot was buying a home in Norway. And you know, since esport is international, and so you all earn very similar amount of money, right?
Yeah.
And in Norway, the amount of money you can earn from esport is really actually not that impressive, right? Because how expensive everything there is. So Snoot was buying just kind of like a normal small flat, and then there was Bly, who actually probably won less money in his career. And he was already he already had a house for himself, and he was buying a second house for his parents, right? So
yeah,
it's just incredible how it works completely differently from the country that you're from, right? So
Do you think this might be a reason as well why we're seeing just overall, I guess, less people from the northern countries right now, really?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah. Just doesn't seem as much as a viable option of just, as a career path, maybe.
Yeah, like look how difficult this was for Wardy, for example, right? Like he's from Great Britain, and he only made it because of how insanely hard he is hardworking, So I think that's directly correlated. And you can see, for example, yesterday I organized open tournament, and most of people that were playing into this were Eastern Europeans, right?
Yep.
So the prize pool is like $50, and for Eastern Europeans, $50 is not bad amount of money, and for Western Europeans, it's like a pizza, right? So
yeah, maybe like an expensive one.
yeah, sure.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure you could find a $50 pizza there. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Maybe you get like a family one, at some fancy restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get there. You'll get there. But yeah, it's an interesting take overall on how that kind of works, right? It would be very weird if you were to like give people different amounts of money depending on where they're from. That would be interesting.
Which actually would make sense, right? To some extent, at least.
In a way, but I feel like it would like completely be open for just abuse immediately.
Yeah, like it's just. Like I think so. I understand the idea behind this, but it's just probably impossible to execute, really, right?
And then probably they wouldn't start paying the people from the Western Europe and Northern Europe more. They would probably pay the other guys less.
That would lead to some crazy pathologies, right?
Yeah. So, oh well.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a break did Denver need?
I'm not sure. I think I'll take myself one for a quick to bathroom. 1 second.
All right. All good. We'll stay here entertaining everybody. Sniper just joining the channel. What's going on? He's just arrived. Well, we're doing the overall tournaments right now. We're going into the finals. Denver versus Clem, a best of 7. And Denver needs a little bit of a break here. We're not quite sure for how long. But yeah, as soon as he is back, we're going to get those games started. Clem looks like he is ready to go. Unfortunately for us Alpha X folk, of course, we did have Vindicta and Estrella losing in the first round here today. Very unfortunate overall, but you know what? I mean, now we have Denver and Clem in the finals, so still a pretty darn cool matchup, right? ZVT, the most favorite matchup for pretty much everyone, except for maybe some Protoss players. But then again, probably Protoss players also think it's a pretty good one, I'd say, overall. Sadly, that our boys have lost. Yeah, it is a little bit disappointing, of course. Estrella wasn't feeling well, so I know that was, I'd say, part of the equation there, losing 2-0. He actually had some trouble with his overall stomach. So, yeah, he actually needed like 10 minutes to start as well. So, you know what, overall, it made sense that he didn't do all that well. And, yeah. So, I hope he feels better soon. Sun Lily is here as well. How you doing, Sun Lily? Have you guys been playing the Total War game, by the way, that we got to give away for free recently? At all. I've been playing it quite a bit myself.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Denver's back as well. They will start the veto process right now.
All right, let's do it.
Have you played any of the Total War game here so far, Matisse?
In the past, yes.
In the past, all right. So the new one you haven't touched yet.
Yes, I haven't.
Right.
I'm more of a fan of Paradox Entertainment games, if you know them.
Paradox.
You know, like Europa Universalis, for example. And
I don't play that one. I have played the Stellaris. Stellaris is another one of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them.
I've played the space ones a bunch. That's a lot of cool games too.
Yeah, so I think like they are slightly more, in depth. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
They
But I haven't tried
definitely
new
are.
Total Wars. I'm not sure.
They definitely are in the overall campaign map, but I
Mhm.
think Total War more so is focused on the combat, right?
Yes, true.
And I think Paradox is kind of making the. It would be amazing to have like a Paradox game with the combat of Total War, though, like
True.
having the in-depth
Yes.
stuff of the overall map,
Yes.
and then also having the combat. I think that would be amazing, or at least have the choice, right? Like you have in Total War as well. You can auto resolve, or you can do the. You can just do the thingamajig, the real life battle.
Yeah. These battles are very fun. We
Yeah.
actually when we were in Pro House in Poland, we actually had one like in 2011. During breaks of playing StarCraft, we actually were just playing Total War against each other, and just purely battles, nothing else, and it was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a ton of fun. Yeah. Let's see. Crusader Kings 3 coming soon from Paradox as well. Is what Bitterwood says in the chat. I mean, that seems pretty cool too. I've never played a Crusader Kings, but I've seen a lot of people play it, and you know, they're always having fun because of that game goes crazy deep, right? It's almost scary for me to kind of commit to one of those games because I'm like, I'm gonna be playing for like 6 hours, and then I'm gonna find it one little menu and be like, oh my dear lord, I've ignored 60% of this game all this time.
And then, well, if you think that you can learn this game in 6 hours, that you're mistaken.
Exactly.
Like people are comparing, skill of people by how many hours you put into the game, and when you say that you played this 200 hours, they look at you like you're a noob, you know. So.
Same goes for StarCraft 2, to be fair.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. There's less overall maybe mechanics to learn or menus and interactions, but more so matchups, build orders, micro control, little tricks and stuff like this.
Exactly.
Counters, but yeah, always still like there's less overall options available, I suppose. Anyway. I always wonder how that veto process is going, right? They players like to do the veto process in whispers. Do you have any idea why they like to do it in whispers instead of like just in the channel?
Because I'm not sure, but they probably think that it's not no one's business, and they just want to do it between themselves. You know, maybe they don't want to clutter the chat channel. Or maybe they don't want to. They want to hide what vetoes they are doing, so in future their opponents don't know their veto system. Which I probably think the last could be the case.
That's a good case. Yeah, that's a good call. Oh, first map Submarine.
All right.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Clem is such a good boy, isn't he? He's just like, okay, guys, this is the map. You guys want to host, or should I host? Or
okay, who is hosting, by the way? Then
I'm so used now to either Vitamin or the players doing this. I'm just sitting still right now.
Same. I'm waiting for other people to do it.
let's just pretend like we didn't read this message from Clem and continue our conversation. I know. All right, I'll host it. Submarine. Okay. All right. Oh wait. Oh, okay. There we go.
Someone did it. The hero that we deserve.
That's right. There you go.
Alright, remember to set game privacy as at least no build order, but ideally no match history. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I've been yelled at before about that stuff.
Players are very sensitive about this.
I do not want people to just look at that match history and see everything.
Yes, exactly.
Even though, you know, it's being broadcasted to the internet and people can buy the replays, it's fine.
Yes,
it's fine.
That's true, but still, you kind of, like at least you want to.
Efforts.
Yes, you want to make your opponent work for it if they really want to spy on you, you know.
Yeah, true. And the more time it takes, then the less time they overall have to do it correctly, I suppose.
True. And actually, browsing tournament history and stuff like that, it actually, and VODs and everything, finding the channels and everything, actually can be quite time consuming. I often do it for my players when I coach them, right? So I can sometimes finding some obscure game from some open Korean tournament that is streamed by only one streamer. It can be quite difficult. So it still can be actually avoided if you put no match history there.
For sure. All right. Okay, Vitamin telling that he loves us both. That's interesting. Who are you?
Oh, sick bird.
Wow. See if they're ready.
Go.
Wait, did Denver?
Lemon is ready. Denver is busy burning people. Okay.
He's just trash talking Vitamin right now. Now he's like, okay, I love Clem a little bit more.
Oh man.
Wow. I think he's still a little bit salty about that cannon rush from before. I think
Really?
that's still stinging a little bit. Note to self, don't invite Denver anymore.
Okay. That was a little spicier than I expected it to be. Nice.
Oh. Man, Denver. What a guy. I kind of like that stuff though. It's kind of a little bit of a... It's obviously not meant in
Yeah, we are born Hydra fans, right? So
I don't even think that's really Hydra stuff, right? I mean,
that is something that Hydra could say,
yeah, maybe.
Who
Yeah.
are you is
Who are-
really
yeah.
Hydra-esque,
Yeah. True. All right.
All right, in top left corner on our map Submarine, currently it's 0-0 because we just started. Our French Zerg, Denver.
And his opponents, the Red Terran fighting for Team Liquid, the Frenchman, he is Clem.
So we got France versus France in finals, huh?
Yeah, typical French people, huh?
Winning stuff.
Always winning stuff. Ever since Clem came on the scene, suddenly French became...
Yeah, there were
top
moments
contenders.
where France was super... generally, historically, France
Yes,
was quite strong,
Stefano.
right? Like Stefano, Marine Lord, but the Lilbo even.
Yeah,
So there were moments where France wasn't super strong, but most of the time it was pretty strong. They have quite a robust, like semi-pro scene as well. These underdogs
true.
tournaments and stuff, which are quite stacked actually and quite difficult to compete in as well, I think.
yeah, man, for sure.
There's
There's
always
some really cool
also-
players as well. Uzi Koti, of course, another Alpha Xer.
Sure, yeah. Also DNS and Drogo, all,
yeah.
they're around for a very long time too.
Yeah, man.
Did we forget anyone?
I mean, probably.
Yeah,
But,
players always take insults if they don't get,
Mentions.
mentioned in.
It's rough. You know what? Don't get insulted about it. We don't mean harm. It's just that we're not that bright. All right, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's like. Wait, what is Denver doing? He's going early pool. I
No,
just realized.
no. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
I missed what kind of early pool was that? Was it just 17-17
It
or?
was 4 links in total.
Yeah, so it seems like Clem is scouting this, and because he's scouting with SCV, I don't think this is going to achieve anything. But he's also playing super safe because he's getting a bunker.
Yeah,
The problem with this kind of opening for Terran is that you have no clue what Zerg is going for behind this, right? So you don't know whether he is all-inning you right now with tons of roaches and almost no eco, or is he just getting a bunch of drones behind it, taking a third base and just going full macro, right? So you're not exactly sure as Terran, so Clem decides to play it a little more safe, especially since this is submarine. So it's basically a rush map out of this map pool. So I'm not surprised he decided to take that bunker. And since it also costs Zerg quite a bit to go 17-17 and 4 links initially, he is completely fine to pay for that bunker, and his economy is still in quite okay shape.
Yeah. He does manage to get that Reaper here now as well to kind of verify what is happening. Doesn't see much out of order.
Add-on complete.
Clem's is gonna go for a very safe build, I believe, with the Hellions and the Banshees here. He was doing a lot of the same to Bly, I have to say. At some points he also did a double barracks opening here and there.
You mean proxy or?
No, not even proxy, just in his own base.
You mean 2-1-1 where with marine drop and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait a second, like these two Hellions, how did they manage to kill 5 workers already? This is suspicious. How does it even happen? Like 6 Hellions quite often might. Oh my god! I didn't switch scene. Alright, okay. Scene is back, guys. Okay. And the score is 0-0. Alright. Yeah, so it's Banshee on the way, and the thing is, there's something weird about Clem's Banshees as well, because they deal way too much damage as well. Like, for example, when quite often other Banshees, they kill maybe 2-3 workers, but Clem for some reason always manages to kill just, you know, something like 10 workers with 2 Banshees. So that's pretty crazy, and how is he doing this is still a little mystery to me, but he is doing that.
I like that you could say it's a little mystery. Because it's Clem. He is a little mystery, isn't he?
Well, that was unplanned, but you see, again, like the Banshee is flying in, and for some reason this kind of... yeah, so again, Denver doesn't have...
Lord. Oh god, the Hellions. Man, if those drones kept going there, that would have been an absolute massacre.
Yes.
Denver would just tap out right then and there, I'd say.
Depends, right? Like in tournaments, you just try a little harder always, right? But when you... at this point, I would say on ladder, you would still already consider maybe even quitting, but in tournament, you're always going to fight hard. But actually, when you look at the worker count, it's actually not that terrible when this round of drones finishes. But there's also third base for Clem, so I think he's very happy with how it's going so far.
Yeah, cleaning up the queens as well. He's still not done yet either with cleaning up drones. Although he's now trying to shoot a spore crawler there.
Well, he lost both of Banshees, and he lost every Hellion, so... Denver has quite a lot of freedom right now to drone, so situation is not as terrible as it looked, I would say. He is still he's still behind for sure, but I think he's in actually not that terrible shape.
So what would you do in this position? Would you just try to keep droning up, or?
I think so, right? Like, what else could you really do? Right now there's a tank here. So you cannot really rush against Terran at this point when he's got tanks, and soon Steam, and already Steam probably, and soon Combat Shield and everything. So you just kind of have to play normal, and usually for Zerg, a comeback mechanic against Terran is just camping harder than you would normally camp and hope for the best, because Zerg off creep is pretty bad and Zerg on creep is pretty good. So at this point, Denver just wants to abuse creep mechanic and just not die to a push, but it seems Clem is pretty stubborn about pushing, and he doesn't want to leave any free moments for Denver to drone up, and he knows that this is time to push, but he has no combat shield, so these Marines are actually not that super scary if you have quite a lot of Link Bane. Yeah, look, he has to pack up, because when you steam without combat shield, that's actually very costly for HP of Marines.
Yeah, 2 steams, and they were already in the lower parts of the orange.
Exactly, right? So you could even, I like to think of it that I I need Baning speed ready on time when there is combat shield. But if there is no combat shield, I don't have to have speed for Bane. So I usually try to line up builds so that when combat shield finishes, my speed for Banes finishes as well. And since there is no combat shield, there's no even need for speed for Bane. So I think Denver is doing just fine. On the other hand, look at the supply. I mean, Denver is surviving, but he's surviving because he's cutting eco, and that usually ends up pretty badly. Because yes, you're surviving, but you're gonna die just a little later in 2 minutes.
Yeah, surviving on a can of beans somewhere in a bunker in France
Exactly.
right now.
Yeah.
Although this run by the Lynx is pretty decent actually, getting
Yeah,
himself
true.
quite a bit of stuff sorted. But then again, I suppose the same thing is happening on his side of the map right now. But that in favor for Clem, of course. The Lynx, I think they should be able to get cleaned up here, especially with that siege tank right now on the main base. The Baning speed actually getting really good connection so far, but that's just too much.
Yeah, but actually Denver is doing absolutely the best out of situation that he was in. But the question is it enough? Still looks like it's most likely not going to be enough, but Runby was insanely successful. His trades with Speed Banes were also, actually also quite good, but right now he just ran out of Banes, and currently he's losing his lair, which is way bigger blow than it's supposed to be.
Again, a good connection. He got his links on top of the tanks as well, so those tanks are gone now, all of them. Another link run by, killing off more SCVs as well. Not as many as he did previously though, unfortunately. And I mean, he did lose his layer, as you said, and that is a big blow, but ultimately he is ahead in the worker count now. It's just the army count that's a little bit frightful. Not a reasonable Baning connection though.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that Terran has mules, so even though there is the same worker count right now, economically Terran is still ahead. But these run-bys are actually achieving quite a bit most of the time, so this is probably the last run-by that Denver has that has to absolutely deal a lot of damage. If it does, okay, these drones are trapped and they will not be able to escape, and if Clem realizes, okay, that's GG.
GG from
the way French are saying this.
I probably would, yeah. GG.
Yeah, so 1-0 for Clem. No surprises there. Do we think this is gonna be a stomp? Was this a game stomp? I guess this was quite one-sided, yeah.
Denver was making some stuff work. I think a big thing as well was that he did start off on the back foot a little bit, I would say, right? Trying to go with that quicker spawning pool.
True.
Do you think how far do you think that really set him back though? Because it didn't do much.
I think the main problem was Hellion and Banshee harassment, right? It just dealt too much damage. It was just too much. Like this is something that you can do against at this top level of Terran play, which, well, Clem is one of the best in the world, I guess. So at this point, if you lose just a little too much, it's just gonna stumble. Just simple as that, you know.
Yep. There we go. Oh, I'm in the wrong channel. There we go.
Okay, Everdream. The second game is Ice and Chrome, by the way, not Everdream.
Oh, Clem said Ever.
Yeah, but he asked for map 5.
Ah, my bad. Alright. We'll get it sorted. Ice and Chrome.
Yes.
So why aren't you making the maps if you know all of this?
Well, I am hoping, well, that I'm going to manage my scenes properly.
You see, yeah.
I'm struggling to compete with my scenes, you know, on my stream.
Yes. Step by step, eh? Step by step. All right.
Exactly.
Let's focus on the scene switching now for this stream, and then the next stream maybe. All right, they're both ready. Okay, let's go. Let's get the next game going. Denver,
Yeah.
I mean...
Well,
it's
this
just
map is really good for Zerg. So if
True.
Denver is to put up a fight, this is the map to do it on.
Yes. But Clem, though, and his multitasking...
Sure.
Oh, it's so terrifying.
Yeah, but on this map, to some extent, you've got 5 bases for free as Zerg. And so, because it's just so huge. So if Denver can get 5 bases for free, he has really nice macro, right? So he can make a use of it. That's the thing, right? So.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. That is a good point. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to be the case here, and if this little blue Terran man in the bottom left side will be able to do anything about that, or if he's just going to let it happen. He is, of course, the French Team Liquid player. He is Clem.
And in top right corner, currently losing 0-1, and this is the map that probably would be a good start to make a comeback. This is Denver. This is 2 drones. I think he's searching for a proxy.
So if you were coaching Denver right now, right?
Yes.
How, like, if you were trying to prep him for Clem, I know you don't have a lot of time to prep for, prepping him, but what things do you think are the things you would tell him to try at this moment in time?
Well, I think I would tell him to just play his normal stuff, because in first game he was trying to be cheeky and Clem just shut it down completely. And Denver is actually very solid at macro, so I don't think he needs to try too much cheeky stuff. I think on this map he has a clear chance against Clem in macro, I think, on one hand. And on the other hand, as a coach, I would probably just try to find out what is favorite Clem's opening on this map. Or in general, what are other openings that he likes to go for? Because against openings from Terran, they are quite surprise based. So, for example, if you play 3CC, you can get all-in and you can just die. If you play early aggression, if you just know what kind of aggression is this, then you just get shut down as well. And like, for example, if it's Hellbat push, you just know to start Baning Nest on certain moment, and then you just hold it.
Yeah.
So I would. So my job would be to find out what Clem is gonna play, and then my job would be to tell him what you're supposed to do to counter that. And I assume Denver would already know that, most likely. But if I would be able to provide information what Clem is gonna play on this map, that would be huge help for Denver. And from his part, all he needs to do is just execute the build that counters Clem's build, and then really just outplay him in macro.
Oh, really? Trying to get that creep to me. Doesn't quite get it. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just difficult, right? To really
It is.
call one of
Definitely
those
is.
games or what somebody should do, particularly if you can't really have a lot of frame of reference for a certain player at this moment in time.
Yeah, but Clem is playing actually quite a lot of tournaments, so I would just go for every ZVT that he played in last month, and I would just figure out how often he uses what build on this map, and I would say there is very high chance he's gonna play this. There is very high chance he's gonna play that. If you scout this way, and you can differentiate these builds by looking at this and that, and then you can simply just, it's just much easier when you know that it's going to be a Banshee than when it's not. So for example, if I would be able to tell him that it's going to be a Banshee, then it would be much easier for him to, for example, do things like rush mutas like this, or he would be more ready for these Banshees. They wouldn't surprise him. Like in the previous game, they did surprise him. They dealt way too much damage simply because. So here, if he had Spores on time, Queens, a larger number of Queens, and here honestly the build he's going for, I think is going to be very good, because early mutas are generally very strong against Banshees.
Yeah, for sure. It will be one Banshee at least, but I mean, one Banshee should be held by those Spore Crawlers and the Queens rather handedly. Sometimes you still see a single Banshee still do quite a bit though, especially because we have those Hellions on the way as well. We're gonna have to wait and see if we see the clan magic happening again here.
Exactly. Well, but the thing is that he doesn't have too much room to deal too much damage. He doesn't have just too much time, because by the time the second Banshee arrives to Denver's base, Mutas will soon be popping out, honestly. So I think this is the best actually outcome of builds that could have happened for Denver, because Banshees most likely will not deal too much damage. He will just drone up like crazy right now, and then eventually he will just clean up the Banshees very easily with Mutas, and Clem will struggle to apply any kind of pressure on Denver for a long time, because because Banshees are quite expensive. So if you build Banshees, then your tank or your steam or any other stuff is just delayed.
Yeah, yeah, that's true as well. So, so after a bad opening like this, right, for Clem, we're seeing him now trying to get I think that's a third base. Yeah, he's making a third base. He's grabbing those the fourth and the fifth barracks. What would you think would be a better option here? Actually, the Hellions are getting a little bit of poke damage in the Banshees as well. The second Banshee did get here before those other Mutalisks. 8 workers only so far though.
Yeah, so Clem continues to deliver huge damage every single game. I think this is here partially because Denver was just a little too greedy. Against 6 Hellions, you're supposed to have something like 20 links, and he had something around 14, maybe 16. Okay, so Banshees died, but I think the damage was quite heavy for Denver. And now the question is, well, look, there's already quite big army waiting at home for Clem. So we've been analyzing Clem's games recently with Soul Together, and we were just wondering, why does he have so much all the time? And it's still a little a mystery as well again, because he just has sooner barracks, more Marines, more SCVs than just other Terrans, you know, and that's pretty crazy. And so and on top of that, he's also dealing tons of damage with this his harassment. So I think this is definitely a player to watch for, because he's just so damn good.
Yeah, it really is like a little French innovation, right? A little French machine.
True. Yeah, that's very good comparison. Yeah.
Then also, I would say his micro overall a little bit better than innovation.
I'm not sure. Do you think that?
Yeah, 100%.
Really? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Looking at innovation playing against disruptors, and then looking at Clem playing against disruptors, it's night and day, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it
okay.
really is.
I didn't see that, so I wasn't paying attention to that specifically. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah,
I think it may not just be micro specifically. It might just be more so that Clem knows when he should be moving his army backwards, or like when it's not safe for him not to be looking at his army. And innovation just gets called off so many times by those disruptors still.
Yeah, maybe it's also okay. We've got quite big engagement here. There's this is looking quite okay for Denver actually. He continues to pick off Mutas here and there, like Marines. He actually picked off tons of them during these fights, but he has no Banelings, so he's playing Muta Ling, and I'm pretty sure we are not playing Brood War, and you kind of just need to have Banelings with your army, because otherwise these Marines are just snowballing out of control, and without Banelings it's just very, very difficult.
Yeah, they will kill absolutely everything. He does have Baneling speed though, just not the Banelings. That is interesting indeed. Now making 5 of them, I guess he just spent all his gas on the Mutalisk, right?
Yes. Like his Muta count is actually very, very high, so this is very nice, but on the other hand, it's a little awkward, right? Like it's just very difficult to fight without Banelings. So when you play Mutas, you definitely have to sometimes make a conscious decisions. Yes, I'm going to build a little less Mutas right now because I want to have some Banelings, because I want to be able to actually fight a fight. Because without these Banelings, it's just very, very difficult to beat any reasonable Terran pushes that when Terran actually knows how to micro. And obviously, like you said, Clem's micro is absolutely impeccable.
Yeah. Well, I'm being impressed by Denver so far as well. I mean, these Mutalisks, they will take a massive Widowmine shot right now, but it also softens up a lot of the SCVs here. Oh, another Widowmine shot. Okay, now it's getting really dangerous, though. They are kind of stuck here, and Marines will be coming in from the right side. Okay, no, they do escape.
Clem managed to secure the 4th base already, so this is very fast 4th, given what happened in this game, and Denver already barely just grabbing a 5th, so I think Clem's macro is getting again out of control, but Denver decides to go for a pretty serious counter-attack. Let's see whether Widowmines are going to be able to deny it. Not so much. So this kind of run-bys is exactly how you're supposed to play Mutas. Mutas are a base trade unit, they are not main fighting units. So here, this move from Denver is actually massive. He's going to pick off a command center, but the question is he gonna survive at home? This could be a little problematic because he has very low numbers of banelings. So I think he's taking way too much damage, and I think, yes, taking out command center was really nice, but at home he is just kind of dying.
Yeah, what is he running back with? It really is mainly just the Mutalisk circling again. We're missing the very crucial Baneling here in this composition. He may just be able to clean this up, but he's losing so many of those Mutalisks right now.
Exactly. And Clem at home, he took quite a beating, but on the other hand, look at the new army that's standing in the natural.
He's just like, yeah, I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I got more stuff now.
And this entire engagement happened when Clem had 2-2 while Denver had 1-1. So this is the main problem of these early mutas. They delay upgrades so much that Terran has very powerful 2-2 timing. So recently 2-2 timings have been less and less popular because Terrans, Zergs have just learned how to deal with them, just tons of Banes and stuff. But since Zergs are delaying their upgrades, suddenly there is a revival of 2-2 timings, because if you got 2-2 as a Terran and you're facing 1-1 from Zerg, then the trades that they are gonna do are absolutely amazing.
Alright, trying to get rid of the minefields here, still taking a little bit of a beating, and 3 more Widowmines still just waiting there. Clem again with everything he needs. Alright, let's see how well he can split against these Banelings though coming in. There's not a lot of creep here. Unfortunately for Denver, the creep did get cleaned up with that hatchery being gone here. And, well, does he still have enough Mutalisk? I'd say barely. He does barely have enough.
Yes, he does. So he's going to say most likely clean up this quite most likely quite high cost, especially in numbers of mutas. Yes, he survived, but look, there's another army from Clem.
Hello!
This kind of macro is absolutely insane, and the problem is that Denver is on 3 bases. This is 3 base Zerg against 3 base Terran, and that's usually not a good sign. Zerg absolutely needs 1 more base than Terran, and yes, that's GG, that's 2-0 for Clem.
Clem making it look easy on the Zerg map there, right there.
As well, yes.
I mean, those Widowmines continuously as well, just waiting for the Mutalisk to try and make a play. I mean, that was just some brilliant overall planning, I'd say as well, right? Just
yes.
Like not just having Widowmines around your base, right? You could try to have Widowmines in each place of your base, but he's like, all right, well, these are the most likely ways where the Mutalisk will move past. These are the most efficient to try and get the damage done. And he just, yeah, he knows them so well, and puts the Widowmines there. Every single time.
He didn't really abuse this trick where you put 4 Widowmines at the same place, because that's the most scary one, because you can just literally randomly lose all your mutas at the same time, and that's very, very sad. With 1 or 2 Widowmines, it's still obviously quite scary, but mutas don't die in this position, so that means that you are just chasing them away and not necessarily just shutting them down. So this is a little different, but that buys you time. Like when mutants are wounded, they definitely need to need some time to regenerate, and they don't they can't also freely harass.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
I mean, you saw how close they already got with 2 Wither Mines on the, and then yeah, they're fragile. The glass cannons of the sky.
Exactly.
All right, here we go, Denver.
By the way, I'm also streaming this, right? So why don't
Mm-hmm.
you guys come to my stream as well a little bit? It's trovo.live/Matis. You can also have a look from my perspective. You will be hearing absolutely the same stuff since we are on the call. Why? But why
We'll
not?
have 2 cameras looking around in the game. So why is this much observing? You can have 1 eyeball there, another eyeball there.
Yeah, the more the better for both of us, right? So.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Help a fella out. Anyway, Clem, he is on a tear, isn't he? At least he's he's not doing it in the first 10 minutes of the game. That's always nice. It does almost feel like he has that control though. That way he can just be like, all right, I'm gonna win this one in this amount of time, this one in this amount of time. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna try some introduction of the Zerg this time around.
All
Who
right.
knows? Maybe it will bring him luck. He's the blue Zerg. He's fighting for. Oh dear lord. Right, hold up. I'm gonna say this name of the team. I'm already regretting this. I'll get it done. Hold up. I had it open. Oh wait, it's right over here. You know this team?
No,
No, me neither. I've not known about
I would
this
have
team
to
until.
jump to Wikipedia to figure it out.
So he's it's the Coca Authentique Pépite, and
Oh.
he is the blue Zerg from France. If you couldn't guess from that name of the clan, he is Denver.
That was good. And in bottom right corner, our young red Terran from Team Liquid, that's Clem. Did you learn French at school?
I mean, if they tried, they really tried
They
to
tried,
teach me
okay.
French at school, but
So that's similar, like me and German then.
yep,
They tried.
German as
They
well.
tried. Yeah.
They wanted to teach me. I just wasn't that interested.
Okay. Yeah,
I was
same.
like, "What do you mean? I'll just not go to France, guys. Problem solved."
Yeah, it was the same. Like I need English for sure. I want to play games, so I need to know English. But
Yeah.
why do I need to know German, huh?
Exactly. Can't they just learn English as well? Is that too difficult for them? Anyway. But yeah. I mean, there are still like Dutch people that complain about people not learning Dutch when they do come to the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're crazy people overall.
I guess probably rate of English in Netherlands is quite high, right? Like most of you.
Yeah, very high.
Yeah.
I think it's like maybe even the highest of a non-native English-speaking country.
Really?
Yeah, maybe. It's because
Is-
there's like okay, he's getting 2 drones here.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
There were full Zerglings there. I mean, hello,
Hello. Yeah.
Blizzard.
I heard that Dutch is something like a mix between English and German. Is that fair assessment?
Yeah,
Or is it
there's some
insulting?
similarities. I mean, it's a lot of
okay.
it has a lot to do with the structure of the sentences, I suppose. There's some words that are quite similar, but oh my god, he's getting in here again.
Scouting everything. This is very important scout because he's searching for a Roach Warren, which would potentially just kill him because he's going for 3cc. So he needs to. When you play 3cc, you absolutely want to dive with Reaper because you want to scout whether you are being all-in or not. This dive was maybe a little early, but on the other hand, it still was very valuable for Clem because right now he can just freely, without fear, just play his normal style. But otherwise, he would maybe have to build a bunker. Maybe he would have to get a tank or something like that. And now he knows that he can comfortably just get up to a couple of barracks, produced quite a bit of stuff, and now he is also getting reactors, so he doesn't have to care about tank, and that's very good because tanks usually, or even banshees, they just delay the build too much. And right now Clem can play just nice 3cc into also some kind of 2-on-1, and that's pretty massive because this allows him to well apply pressure quite soon, quite serious pressure against Denver, and on top of that he has massive economy behind this, right? So the biggest problem with 2-on-1 was usually that it was really nice pressure, but it just didn't give you enough economy behind this. And then here Clem just went for 2-on-1, but with 30C, which is very nice build, but I'm pretty sure it's relatively unsafe. So if there was some kind of Roach Ravager link all in, Clem possibly could have been in trouble, but since he scouted with Reaper, he knew that he can get away with a build like this, and I would say that's already a nice lead for Clem, because he's also going to get a gold base on top of that, so you're gonna have insane economy from just normal 3cc, you're gonna have insane pressure because you're going 2-on-1, and on top of that you're gonna have even more insane economy because you're also grabbing gold base. So I think Clem, with a mix of builds that's happening right now, I would say, I don't want to say won a game already, but he's really in good shape.
Okay, well, let's see where he will be able to take it then with this advantage. Overall, yeah, he will have to do some damage here though, right? I mean, looking at the overall worker counts, would you say he still has to do some damage here? Or?
Well, he's forcing out actually so many links out of Denver, so he's fine. Because Zerg wants to build units after he reaches 66 worker count, and here Denver was forced to build quite a bit of links already. He's losing quite a bit of links, so and he still hasn't reached that 66 worker count. And if he manages to cancel the fourth, then that kind of damage is absolutely definitely worth it. Yes, so I would say right now Clem is absolutely happy with the damage that he dealt. And the thing is, he's gearing towards another push, right? Because at home he's building stuff, and especially if he gets combat shield, then these marines suddenly are just way better.
It just picks up in the nick of time as well. Gets the medevac out of the harm's way. +1/+1 for both these players this time around. So the Spire not delaying the upgrades that much this time around. So
yes.
That will help him out a little bit, I suppose, in the well, later on exchanges with Marines versus Zerglings and Banelings.
Exactly. Yeah. So look at the income tab, right? So not much happened, but suddenly Clem has like 400, 500 mineral, more mineral income per minute, which is mostly because he's grabbing that rich mineral fields. On top of that, he will. So look, there's a big push. There's super fast fourth base. There's a 7-minute mark fourth base, which is pretty crazy. And Denver doesn't even have speed for Banes, let alone in a Mutas, and he already has Clem in his face. So I would say he's in deep trouble, and let's see if he can get away out of this trouble.
Pretty reasonable Widowmine hits there, landing some good hits. There is 2 groups of Banelings being constructed though. Will Clem be able to target them all down? It looks like, well, he targeted a lot of them down. Not quite all of them, but will be able to save some of the Marines here with the help of the medevacs. And I mean, if he's not quite winning the entire match right here, right now, but oh my god, the Widowmine's reset. Oh dear. I mean, look at that micro, man. That is just mind-boggling to me.
It's pretty good, pretty good.
It's not just like the splitting and all of that. It's also just realizing the exact moment he has to pick up before he takes detrimental damage and just gaining the maximum amount of value.
Yeah, so it's crazy reflex on one hand, but on the other hand, it's just very fast thinking. Like he kind of just knows.
Yeah.
He just knows what's the optimal way to use his units, right? And oh, there's also a push at the top. Most likely, well, it's not going to kill a fourth base, but it already dealt nice damage. Mutas are actually going to clean it up. So 5 workers for 2 medivacs was actually maybe not ideal. But look, there's just way. So Clem is playing this as he was Zerg, It's just Denver has barely scratching, like he's barely scrapping an army together, while it's Clem who's sending a wave of units for Denver, and he cannot catch a break. Like he cannot even have a moment to harass a tiny bit or just drone up a little bit. He's just being faced by massive waves of units all the time, and at some point this is just going to be too much. Yeah.
It is too much right now. Denver, my man, he is hurting. He is struggling here against his fellow countrymen. This is rough. You can see him really trying multiple things here, trying all the other stuff that he can. Right? He went for the quick Mutalisk. He went for the. He tried to go for the more regular +1/+1. He hasn't really tried any early on aggression of that sort quite yet. Do you think
And
that's
that
even
was the game to do it on, I think. The map
Yeah.
to do it on, you know, so...
Well, yeah, you mentioned it as well, right? Also, the build order for Clem would have
Yeah.
kind of worked out for him in that sense. But yeah, just unfortunately not quite making that. Oh dear Lord, I'm typoing here and also doing it in the wrong chat again. There we go. But yeah, not quite making it work in that moment in time.
I think 4 was pillars. Fourth map was pillars, actually.
Oh right, we're only on map 4, aren't we?
But it seems they...
Wait, was this map
Don't
4
really
or was
care.
this map 5?
I'm not sure, like, it was supposed to be 5th, I think, but...
Oh, 4 pillars.
it seems they don't care, and they are ready, so...
No, we're doing this correctly.
Okay.
We're not, you know, allowing something like that.
Alright, sure.
It's because I was like, alright, we're on match points, and I'm so used to casting best of 9s that I thought, alright, this is game number 5, when it's
right,
game number
yeah.
4. You see, I
So
wanted
you're
to say
used
5
to
there as well.
Casting these all alpha show matches, right? That's what you mean?
Yeah. A lot of show matches. There we go.
Alright.
Clem says he's ready before Denver is even here. Right, vitamin, get your batoots in here. There we go.
Yeah.
Get that Brazilian booty in here. What's happening in the
He's
chat
from
right now?
Brazil?
Yeah, he's from Brazil.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, it's time to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so did he already get banned? He's still
Let's
talking.
go.
This is interesting.
What?
I don't know, there's somebody spamming the chat. I don't know what's happening. Alright, they're both saying go. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Denver versus Clem. Match point here. And there's somebody else now spamming the same thing. This is interesting.
Yeah, on this platform sometimes there are some crazy people, it seems.
There really is, isn't there?
Not sure what's going on.
Huh.
I'm just ban them and then I enjoy my chat experience.
I usually ban them for 10 minutes. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm
another
also
guy.
merciful. I only ban them for 10 minutes too.
Do you think this is do you think this could be like Twitch? Do you think this could be Twitch trying to
You
ruin
mean
the Trovo
the industrial
experience with bots?
competition, espionage and stuff? Well,
It could be, right? It's a cutthroat experience, the streaming world. I mean, there's another guy. This is starting to get ridiculous. This is like the 6th guy in a row. Thank God we have like 6 mods in the channel.
okay.
I'm the only one. No, I'm not the only one betting. I'm just the quickest on the. Oh my god, that's another one. Or what in the? It's becoming unmanageable.
Yeah. Oh.
How many is that? It's crazy. Anyway, time for some introductions. Who do you want to introduce here?
Well, let me take Clem this time.
All right.
So in our bottom left corner, currently leading, what is it even, 3-0, our French Terran from Team Liquid, that's Clem.
In the top right side, there's a Red Zerg player, also from France. He is none other than from the team. Of course, you all know the team, the Coco Authentique Pepite. He is Denver.
Man, that's so good that you're able to pronounce this.
Coca. I'm probably mispronouncing it incredibly, but I just kind of know the accents here and there to kind of make it sound like it's French, except for like, actual French people.
Okay, all right.
You know.
That's smart.
Aha! Tu te la floupe! Just, you know, the French sounding words. Pomme de jour! You also, well, actually, what is a bibliothèque?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Polish word as well?
Almost, we say biblioteka in
There you
Polish,
go.
so that's kind of similar, right?
Yeah. It's interesting that it's pretty much the same for most of the countries in Europe, and then, you know, even for France usually the outlier there, but then suddenly in English it became library. Library.
I think actually I know why, because most of Europeans used to copy French language for a very long time. It was a very fancy language, and elites
course.
used to use French a lot.
Yeah.
And
the
British,
English
for
just don't
some
have
reason,
books.
they hated the French, so they didn't really try to copy any words from French. So they wanted to have their own. So entire Europe would copy French, and then probably around the time where libraries were introduced, it was still the case. And then, yeah. So I've actually, was it you or I've watched it somewhere that, for example, British refused to eat with fork for a very long time because it was French invention. So
Really?
I think, yeah. So
what would they
even
use?
though
Just a spoon?
yeah.
Oh wait, people used knives, didn't they? Just knives?
They used a mix of spoon and knife in medieval times, and then there was a fork introduced. I'm not exactly sure when, but it arrived to Great Britain significantly later because it was a French nasty invention, and they didn't want to have anything in common with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense actually. I mean, I would feel the same way.
All right.
You know that people used to just carry around like multiple knives with them everywhere?
Yeah.
It was like, because, you know, when you go out to dinner or when you're at somebody else's place, people didn't just have extra knives for you to use, right? So you had to bring your own knife. And you would have like one knife to like cut regular stuff with, right? For on the road if you run into something. And then you would have like a dinner knife, right? Where you eat your food with. You would have multiple knives just with you. Everybody just walking around with knives. Imagine that being the case today. All the school children, all of them just having knives in their pockets. Trying to get rid of all the knives at the moment at the schools. At least the troubled schools. The other schools, they don't even have them. The kids trying to bring knives in.
I love that we are just casually talking about violence in school while we are casting StarCraft tournament.
I mean, it's where Clem should be right now, that young kid. He should be trying to bring knives into schools, and instead, he's just murdering folks on the internet.
He absolutely is. This best of 7 currently, I would say, definitely looks like a murder of Denver. He's trying his best, but he's kind of helpless here.
It's
at least this game is actually looking reasonably fine. The Banshee didn't really achieve anything at all, just 2 kills, 1 kill per Banshee. So that's actually quite non-Clem alike. And then Denver suddenly this is the first game where he enjoys a 10-worker lead, and then actually he might have even really nice. He will get into 66 drones, which is the ideal drone count early on for the Zerg, and around 6-minute mark, which is exactly the timing that he is supposed to get it on.
Right. Well, Clem did take a long time to actually commit with those Stallions, yeah. I was gonna say that he didn't lose anything, but he did just commit 6 Stallions there, so...
Yeah, losing these Hellions is actually a massive deal, because right now Denver's creep most likely will just spiral out of control, and the Clem, look, his army at home is actually quite small. He doesn't have much stuff going on for him. So right now there are still a bunch of queens. So Denver can just pop down creep tumors absolutely everywhere. And this will be actually very hard for Clem to combat, because that means that he will just have creep everywhere. And as a Terran, you're basically not supposed to step on creep. So if you step on creep in order to execute any kind of aggression, you're risking a lot, and but you kind of have to, because creep is absolutely everywhere, right? So the question is, for example, let's say Clem decides to try to deny the 5th base, for example. How is he even gonna do that? It's gonna be very, very tough.
I think so too, as well, yeah. But you know what? If anyone's gonna find a way, it's probably gonna be Clem.
By the way, this is something I've seen. This is actually a very interesting build from Clem to talk about, because this is Aatrox, but with the 4th base. So this is a kind of a new invention recently, because Aatrox, the problem with it was most of the time just 3 base all in. And right now Clem is also, so this is still very similar build, where you just build tons of marines and you rely on only one factory, and you build a bunch of tanks, but you don't have too many of them. And the thing is, here Clem managed to fit in another another CC in here, which results in a situation where this is still Aatrox, but at least you have something to follow it up with. And on top of that, you can just add even more axes if the production and money kicks in from the 4th base.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how this unfolds. I mean, his army is absolutely ridiculous with that 8-Rex, as you mentioned. I've been looking at this Baneling drop, but it's just not really going anywhere. For a while here, oh, this could work out pretty nicely, but it's still sitting there, and now he's just preoccupied. I think he was kind of got distracted by the 2 Banshees trying to come in here. All right, there it is. G.
That was quick. That was quick.
Didn't even need that 4th base. But you know what? He had it anyway, and you know why? Clem just has more stuff than anyone at any moment.
Exactly.
In time.
That's the point. That's the thing.
It's a little bit ridiculous. It's a little bit ridiculous. You know what? It's unfair. It's unfair that he's this good. Man, a clean sweep right there. GG to
So
Clem.
what was longer? Our best of 7 here, or our best of 7 in GSL finals today?
Well, you know what? I was hoping that maybe we could get a little bit of a redemption story here with the with StarCraft 2 after the GSL, but I was talking I was talking about this overall as well. I was so disappointed with it, and I thought, like, well, we're bound to have some better games here today, but nope, not in these finals at least, unfortunately. It was very one-sided.
Well, Clem is just that good, you know.
He really is. You just need the best of the best to really compete with Clem at the moment in time. Otherwise, it's gonna look like that, unfortunately. But you know what? Well played by him. Glad to have some games of him. If in the replays, of course. I'm pretty sure you can get the replay back on the Matcherino. So. Yeah, guys, if you haven't already, hit us up on that Matcherino. Of course, there is a code available. Before we give out those prizes, try to, you know what, fill it out. do some quests, maybe, you know. It's very easy to do those quests. I think mostly it comes down to just kind of following Alpha X on YouTube or the Twitters or stuff like that. So if you haven't done that just yet, this is your time. This is your moment. And yeah, Matisse, I think I'm gonna call it a day. We are actually done a lot earlier than I thought we would be.
Yeah. So I think I actually stream some ladder because why not, right? So
All right.
if you guys want to come in and see, I will be trying to get Grandmaster today. I think that's a possibility that might happen. So if you want to come in, sure, you are definitely invited, guys.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. I hope it works out for you, Matisse. I'm gonna call it a day. And yeah, it was fun casting with you as always, my man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right. And
See ya,
everybody
bro.
else. See you later, man.
Bye-bye.
There we go. All right, everybody else, thank you so much for watching. Very much appreciated, of course, all the audience. Go check out Matisse. If you don't know where to find him, you can just type in Matisse in the search thing, and he will be the first Matisse that shows up. It's the benefit of, you know what, streaming on a little bit of a smaller platform, just a smidge overall. But yeah, he should be the first person to show up because he has the most viewers right now. And yeah, all right, a fun time overall. Clem, I mean, he lost one game in this entire tournament, didn't he? I think that's true, actually. I'm pretty sure that's true. He lost one game. How many games? Out of how many was that? Okay, so we had 9 games over here. He had 3 more, so that's 12 plus the 4. 16 games. He lost, right? Am I going crazy? Oh no, that is in fact 16 games and he lost 1 of them. He went 15-1. Nuts. This man is unstoppable. Alright guys, go check out Matisse. He's a great guy. He will be able to teach you quite a bit, and go cheer for him. Hopefully he will get Grandmasters. I've been Kozen. I'm gonna head off, and we'll see you next time. All right, love you all. Bye bye.